Good evening and welcome to the table, La Mesa, California, here on the beautiful campus of Helix Charter High School. Tonight, the Helix Highlanders play host to the Cathedral Catholic Dons. Helix is a program with rich tradition. Names like Reggie Bush, Alex Smith, and Levi Torlolo are just a few of the Highlander greats who went on to the NFL after wearing the green and white with the iconic Scotty Dog logo. Cathedral Catholic's legacy is just as impressive, with multiple state and section championships under longtime head coach Sean Doyle. I'm Tommy Morris, and welcome to tonight's TVX Sports Game of the Week. Last year, the Highlanders came down to the Valley, Carmel Valley, to pick up a 28-0 victory. We got some highlights from last year's game coming right up for you. Here it is. It is Luke Westfall. You're going to see him have not just one sack, but two. Luke Westfall, thankfully for the Highlanders, is currently playing at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, so he will not be in tonight's game. Later in the game, it was still 0-0. There was some hope for the Highlanders. A muff punt gave Helix some good field position and some hope, but they could not capitalize. After that, when Cathedral got the ball back, it was Brady Palmer, who you will see playing tonight for the Dons with his first touchdown. That went to Hunter Harrington. He will not be playing tonight, however. He's going to play baseball at Stanford next year, so he's taking the football season off. Defense for Cathedral, also very impressive. That is Aiden Smith-McGlynn with the interception. He's in 19 there, but he will be wearing number 7 today for the Dons. Here is Palmer to Hunter, and yeah, that looks like a baseball catch to me. That was the second touchdown reception of the night, but Palmer was not perfect. Here's an interception for Helix right there in the red zone, 14-0 at that point, just after halftime. But that same connection that we've seen 2 times already. We'll take a look at the interception one more time. Excuse me. Good play here for the Highlanders. Trying to hit Harrington again there, who's wearing number 11 for Cathedral. Here is that third touchdown I was talking about. It is Palmer to Hunter. Hunter going to Stanford, as I mentioned. They're friends here, but they're going to be enemies next year because Brady Palmer will be attending the University of California, famously rivals with Stanford. That made the score 21-0. And the Dons were not done. Here is Jake Funderburg with the long touchdown run, bouncing off a couple tackles and his own offensive tackle here. Boom! For the touchdown. That made it 28-0, and that was the final score in last year's contest. Dons were victorious there at Cathedral, and tonight we will see them play here at Helix. There is a look at Brady Palmer, the guy we were just talking about. We will talk more about him as well. The very highly recruited quarterback for Cathedral, transferred from rival St. Augustine 2 seasons ago. Last year was his first season for Cathedral, and he had a great game against Granite Hills last year. As I mentioned, he's going to go to the University of California. Had his choice of a laundry list of Division I schools he could attend if he wanted to. Picked the Golden Bears. Cal actually going to be playing tomorrow night at San Diego State. So if you're bored on a Saturday evening, go ahead and go watch the school where he'll be attending. As the 3-0 Cal Bears will take on San Diego State. Should be a good one. Tickets readily available as I'm checking my ticket app right now. You can buy them for pretty cheap. So go ahead, check out the Aztecs, check out the Golden Bears. Free plug there for San Diego State. You guys are welcome. He is not the only highly recruited player on this team. So we got to see him score another touchdown really quick first before we get to the other man of the hour, I guess man of the honor, Honor Falave. Honor is one of the best athletes, not just in San Diego, but potentially in the country. Rated a bajillion star athlete by every single website. Has a college offer from any school you've ever heard of in the world. They all want him. He has his pick of the litter. He'll be on offense and defense as well. There you see him with the interception for Cathedral. Very, very, very dynamic player on both sides of the ball. Take a look at that interception one more time. Potentially going to be a defensive player in college. So you'll see a lot of this at the next level, whether it be for Alabama, USC, Notre Dame, who knows, wherever he feels like he would like to go. He'll be wearing number 9 again tonight. And the other star player for Cathedral will be P.J. Johnson, the running back. Dynamic player out of the backfield. As we take a look at Brady Palmer one more time. And there is P.J. catching the ball there, but we'll see him getting more handoffs than catching tonight. Real name Parker goes by P.J. Here he is returning a punt. Again, kid can do pretty much anything he would like with the football in his hands. Has offers from Big 12 and Big 10 schools. will be a fun player to watch on Saturdays next year. That's a little bit about the Cathedral Catholic Dons. We were able to check out some practice on Wednesday here at Helix. Able to talk to some of the star players you will see tonight in the green. There is head coach Damaje Jones. But first, let's hear from Lee Norman Lester, the quarterback for the Highlanders, with an offer from the University of San Diego. All right, Lee, Helix, obviously a storied program. The quarterback position at the school also pretty storied as well. What's it like being part of that lineage now?
You know, there's a lot of great quarterbacks that came out of here. Just trying to live up to the expectation that Helix has put on.
Tell everybody, what type of player are you? What are some of your best attributes, and what can we expect to see?
I'm a dual threat quarterback. I feel like my best attribute is just making a play. When the play goes down, just being able to use my legs and get us a first down and move the chains.
And for you, the college process is sort of starting. So, what is the recruiting process like, and has it been stressful, fun? Like, what are some of the good and bad of it so far?
I was kind of late to the recruiting process. I'm just now getting my first offer this year and the early offseason in the spring. So, I mean, it's pretty cool to, talk to coaches, have conversations, build relationships. So it's been a great experience to have.
In this game here, obviously two of the most, I hate to use the word storied a million times, two of the most storied programs in San Diego. So what's it like getting to strap it up against these guys?
It's definitely fun. We play them every year. So having a high competitive game, that brings really the dog out of you to see what you're made of. You're going against another guy that's just like you. And you guys, you sweat the same, you cry the same. So just seeing how much you want it and see how much they want it, it's a great show to put on.
Anyone that you want to thank that's helped you along your journey to get to this point?
Coach Brandon, my physical therapy coach, Coach Drew, also another physical therapist coach, Coach D, Coach Taylor, Coach Rand, mainly all the coaches that coached me out in my life. Yeah.
Okay, I forgot to ask you about this. So you came off an injury last year. You mentioned 3 physical therapists. So what was it like having to work your way back to get back on the field?
It was tough. Especially coming from an ACL and meniscus tear, there's a lot of mental stuff that you go through, but I put my faith in God. And I just know, everything that I go through, there's always a brighter side to it, even though when it's darkness. It's just still being the same kid I am, just still trying to bring joy even when it's bad, when hard times are coming.
All right, Lee, thank you so much, and good luck.
Thank you.
That's the quarterback on offense. Let's hear from the quarterback on defense, linebacker Jeremy Davis. All right, Jeremy, you're here at Helix High School, one of the most storied programs in San Diego. So what's it like playing for such a great program?
It's great. It's really like a family over here with all the coaches and everything. The history in this program runs deep, so with all the coaches and everything, they've been here for years. They've played here. It's like a family over here.
So, favorite Helix player from the past? Is that
favorite Helix
tough?
Player? I gotta go with my brother, honestly.
Okay.
Because he played here in 2021. He was part of the CIF championship team.
So you probably got a chance to watch that from the stands, right? So what's it like being the little brother, now you're one of the players on the team?
No, yeah, it's a great experience because a lot of these coaches were here when my brother is here, and I was just a water boy in 8th grade. So it's great to finally be out on the field, being a captain, being able to walk out on the Scotty, being in the middle.
So where would you put yourself in the power rankings of all 8th grade water boys that have ever existed in this program? Are you at least top 3?
Greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time. Well, let's talk a little bit about your game now. You're a linebacker, sort of the quarterback of the defense. So what type of player are you, and what can people expect to see out of you in this game?
I like to say I fly around to the football. I'm really everywhere. I try to be all over the field on every tackle. That's what I try to do. I try to make every tackle that's out there. So I say I'm a pretty physical guy, pretty fast football guy.
And now being an upperclassman, you got to take on a leadership role. You're a captain now. So what has it been like stepping up and taking the leadership role?
It's been some new challenges, having to step up and be a leader instead of, listening and looking up to those upperclassmen guys, being the person that people look up to. It's new, but I'm still learning, and it's great to finally be a leader out here. And
before the game starts, obviously, we're rolling this, and we want to make sure you get a chance to say thank you to any family members, coaches, friends that you want to pass along the thank you to get you to this point. Who's on that list for you?
I got to say thank you to my mom and my dad. I thank God.
All right. Jeremy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck. As we take a look at the sword ceremony here at Helix, one of the great traditions at Helix High School, a school full of tradition, and everyone keeps coming back, including Damaje Jones, head coach, who was a student athlete here for the Highlanders. All right, Coach. So 4th year as a head coach here at Helix. This is kind of when you start to feel like, I would assume, like more comfortable. Like, okay, this is where we're at now. So what has it been like those first 4 years?
The 4th year has been. This season has been. We've had our ups and downs, but as a head coach, I know what I want in my program. So I think that's the biggest thing, is understanding what you want. I inherited it from a really good guy. I was a part of that staff as a DC. And then, I just kind of kept things as they were, but that wasn't necessarily who I was. So now I'm starting to implement things that I want to do as a program. And again, I play for a lot of good coaches from college to high school. So I'm starting to put that stuff into my program. So that's the stuff that I'm looking forward to, that I'm glad that we have evolved to.
And a couple of people told me he looks like a family. I know there's some coaches who played here, all over the staff. So what's it like being part of that community?
Our motto is once a Scotty, always a Scotty. So I think we are such a tight-knit, football community that so many players want to come back and help coach. I mean, if you look at my staff, I probably got like 15 guys. And I would say about 10 of them played at Helix, which is crazy because if you think of myself, Coach Van, we have Coach Larry who went here, Coach Maury Cole. We have so many coaches in our lower levels as well. So we have so many coaches that have came back and Coach Oliver, who was our O-line coach. We have so many coaches that come back and want to just be a part of it because Helix did something special for them. So they want to give it back to somebody else.
And what is that special thing? Is it obviously teaching you how to be an adult, or is it just the experience of being on a great program? What is it for you?
I think it's a little bit of everything. So, you learn so many life values in football. You learn about commitment. Like, hey, you're going to show up at 6:30 a.m. to go lift these weights. Learn about being a good team player. When you get into the business world and stuff like that and you got to work with other people, football teaches that. So then you build this camaraderie. It teaches you dedication. Like, I got to show up when things are good, when things are bad. Those are life skills that they're going to get because this football is going to end for everybody.
Part of being in one of these programs is you have to play out the other programs in San Diego that are all really, really good, and you guys don't shy away from anybody. One of the tougher schedules. So what's it like week in, week out having to take on the big dogs?
When you got the other big dogs, then it feels good. Now, again, we never shy away from competition. We play Cathedral. They're a great program. Coach Montali, Coach Doyle, they do a really good job over there. And I've been lucky enough to go against them year after year. And we've won some, we've lost some. But we look forward to those matchups. Like, you remember those big games that you play against. It's really cool. A few years ago, we went up to Cajon, and we played Jaden Daniels. And he whooped us. But it's really cool to see, man, we played against Jaden Daniels that year. And, to say that we went against them now, we would like to be a little bit more competitive in those games and things like that. But it's really cool when we play against really high-level competition because it gauges where you're at. Win or lose, draw, it gauges where we're at as a football program and what we need to build to or where we're at and we're trying to accomplish in the future.
We will take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We still have more from the TVX Sports pregame show coming to you from Helix High School.
San Diego High School football is going live. Starting Friday, August 29th, the San Diego section will be partnering with TVX Sports Video to broadcast one high school matchup every week for free on YouTube, YurView San Diego, and Cox Cable.
Friday, September 26th, Mount Miguel travels to face Oceanside on the San Diego section Game of the Week. Watch live on YouTube at TVX Sports Video, Cox Channel 4, and YurView California.
Welcome back to the TVX Sports pregame show. I'm Tommy Morris, and joining me now will be Jonathan Rifkin, who will be doing the play-by-play tonight. Jonathan, what's it like up there?
Well, it is nice and toasty up here in the booth, Tommy. I'm keeping it nice and warm for you down on the field. I know I can see you looking up at us. You got the beautiful view of the sunset right here in the shadow of Mount Helix. But we're keeping it nice and loose up here in the press box because let me tell you that we got a long night ahead of us, folks. Cathedral and Helix. Jonathan Rifkin with you, and it's one of those games where, back when Coach Jones took over back in 2022, it was a 1-point game, 14-13, and then the following year it was a 3-point game, and then Helix won, and then Helix lost. We know 28-0 last year. So this year, a bit of a sliding scale. Which Helix team is going to show up? Is it going to be the team that beat St. Augustine under the really nice offensive performance of Lee Norman Lester, or is it going to be a team that's offensive line gets bumped around and they get bullied on defense, and Cathedral runs away with it? That is going to be the question mark here tonight. So, Tommy, let me ask you all the way down behind me on the field, what are you sensing from the sideline, especially on that Cathedral Catholic side? Are they relaxed? Are they hyped up? What is the energy that you're sensing down there?
2 words, relaxed and confident, I feel like. And you mentioned that defensive line. They got a bunch of big boys up front. And when you have 4 big dudes like that, and we'll talk about them throughout the course of the broadcast, it makes it very easy for a defense because you don't really have to blitz. You're essentially blitzing with your 4 guys with their hands in the dirt. So going to be a big test for the Helix offensive line. If they can hold them up for a drive or two, then maybe we'll see a little more action out of the Cathedral linebackers. But I would expect them to start the game out sort of in their base set, just letting those 4 guys up front go to work.
How do you feel down there, Tom? And you played at La Jolla Country Day. You've coached here in San Diego at La Jolla High School and at University City and amongst some other great programs here in San Diego.
Short of Point Loma, that's okay. Well,
and
that was the shortest stint, so that's okay.
Getting there. Well, hold on. It's because I was calling games for an opposite team at that time. But you've been around high school football players, and I tell people all the time, like as an adult, now I'm still in my 20s, the scariest I ever feel, and I call college sports, right? The scariest I ever feel is when I'm surrounded by a bunch of hyped up high school football players.
No. With the scariest show feels when you hit that 30. That's scary.
Okay, well, give me my year and a half first before we start discussing that. But okay, up until that point, the scariest I feel is when I'm around some very amped up high school football players because the mentality these guys bring. You have to bring this kind of mentality, especially when you're playing competitive games every single week. Yeah,
this is one of those things. If you're Helix, you're the underdog here. Give it your all, figure it out. Something good might happen, something crazy might happen. I would expect them to take their time on offense to try and limit possessions because the way it works, if you're the underdog, you want less possessions. So if something crazy does happen, it makes more of a big impact on the game. Lots of possessions makes those variables sort of wash away because the law of averages, right? You get more possessions. The thing that's supposed to happen generally does happen. So if they can kind of make Cathedral panic a little bit by limiting possessions, maybe scoring that first drive and eat up a lot of clock, we could see a close game tonight and potentially an upset.
Yeah, it's a packed house here tonight, Tommy. How important is it for this Helix team to ride the energy of the crowd in a game like this where, they've been on the road, they've had to go to Modern Day Catholic, they hosted Castile, which is a non-San Diego team. The injection of energy into this team, especially a team that comes in 1-3 and their one win against, I guess we'll call it a rebuilding Saints program for the 3rd straight year. It's probably a very important key to this Helix game here tonight. Yeah, and the energy is good because you got to, it's no surprise, right? They're not supposed to win this game. You need to ride that energy to give yourself a chance, make yourself believe. And, again, it's high school football. Weird things happen. Momentum is huge for high school kids. The older people get, the more the momentum doesn't matter. But at this age right now, 15, 18, very susceptible to giving into the momentum or riding it. So, yeah, the louder the crowd, the better off the Highlanders will be. Well, Bagpipe Band is leading out the Helix Highlanders, also known as the Scotties. By the way, you talk about high school and cool things. How about that Bagpipe Band, one of the coolest traditions of any high school here in San Diego? And I will tell you this, probably the most stressful throw we saw was the sword throw, because I don't know if it's the band major who that is. If you miss the bag, right? Yeah, that thing's going in the dirt, and we have a huge problem starting this game. Would you trust me with that, Tommy? I wouldn't trust myself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And in practice, what if he or she, I couldn't tell, because I wasn't watching close enough, but gets the yips, misses the bag, and then you got to replace that person. I don't even know. Well, I don't know what the tryout is for that. Here's a replay. In case you were wondering, great shot by our team. Boom. That is an A+. Get that guy on the archery range. Well, the angle, you got to get at that 45-degree angle. That's harder than it looks. Well, it's also a real sword. That's the other thing. It's not one of those, microplastic swords. That is a real sword that you are wielding in front of 1,200 people in this football stadium. It's unbelievable. That guy has as much talent down there as Brady Palmer does in that right arm. Anyways, we're going to return with some more game time. It's coming up next. You're watching TVX Sports Videos pregame of Cathedral and Helix on YurView, coming up next.
San Diego High School football is going live. Starting Friday, August 29th, the San Diego section will be partnering with TVX Sports Video to broadcast one high school matchup every week for free on YouTube, YurView San Diego, and Cox Cable.
Friday, September 26, Mount Miguel travels to face Oceanside on the San Diego section Game of the Week. Watch live on YouTube at TVX Sports Video, Cox Channel 4, and YurView, California.
Third and 11, 5 wide with the setting sun behind him. Benitez, far side, nobody's home but an interception. Reeled in and taken. Touchdown, Xavier St. John and the Grizzlies. For I formation, Fleming is the running back. He takes the toss. Parker Fleming, eyes to the end zone, and he's into the paint for a touchdown. Play action, Walker towards the end zone, untouched. And a very quick drive for Granite Hills in response puts them down by a possession pending the PAT. Fourth down for Benitez. Williams was wide open, wasn't looking that way. He's spinning, twirling, throwing, in danger, it's intercepted. Garcia the second, untouched, all the way for the touchdown. From the shadows of Mount Helix, it's a program built on pride, history, and one of the greatest lists of school alumni in San Diego. On the other side, it's the gold standard, gracing San Diego with its presence and representing it at the state level almost every year. It's Friday night, and it's week 5 of the high school football season. Cathedral Catholic taking on the Helix Highlanders, and no sight more ready for some high-octane high school football than here in La Mesa. The Highlanders are 1-3. The Dons are 3-0 rather, coming off of a bye week, and we expect fireworks here from Helix High School. Along with Tommy Morris, my name is Jonathan Rifkind. TM, this is a game that a lot of people are expecting to swing in the direction of the team wearing red and white, but as we talked about in the pregame, more often than not, the expectation isn't always the result.
No, we talked about the crowd being a factor. I can be a test because you remember I was down there not too long ago. Had to surf
how'd you get up here so fast?
Had to surf through the student section, which is completely full. They're all wearing black tonight, so you know, expect theme games. You know what I mean? Like the kids are excited.
You weren't trying to make a deal where you get to be in the student section and somebody else does color.
No, we trade. It was crazy.
Fair.
I thought it'd be exciting for somebody else, but I guess
sitting
not.
out next to that caution tape, I'd be hyped too. There's no better spot to be in San Diego than right down here watching this game because it's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, next time we're here, I'm going to angle for that sword job. Just as a special
well, you know,
sword.
there's a whole society that is about like ordaining of the sword. So you could go, you get knighted in France, all that good stuff.
Well, I mean, I went to USC. We have the sword thing too. So I think it's in my blood. I guess I don't know. What excuse can I make to give me that chance? I don't know. I've watched it enough times. I think
that diatribe doesn't deserve an acknowledgement. There's Brady Palmer leading his Cathedral Dons out there. He's headed to the Cal Berkeley Bears. By the way, interesting situation up in Berkeley because they seemingly have found an incredible freshman quarterback in that gentleman from Hawaii who has led them to a 3-0 start, who Tommy was plugging for all of you to go see tomorrow night at Snapdragon Stadium. So Brady's gonna have some competition up there at Cal.
Well, I mean, today's day and age, you don't know because if he plays too good, then
he could
might not be there
the
anymore.
SEC or the Big Ten.
So I mean, I think nowadays kids aren't scared of that because you never really know if the roster's gonna be the same the year after. You kind of fall in love with the coach, fall in love with the school, and then you just pick from there because, like I mentioned, anyone could leave at any time.
Anthem time. We'll step aside. Back in a moment here from Helix. Helix High School on the campus of Helix in La Mesa, California. Tommy Morris, Jonathan Rifkin, and to the hues of the orange setting sun, we bring you week 5 of the high school football season. Helix coming off of a couple of tough losses. They're 1-3. Cathedral Catholic off of a bye week. They are 3-0. They meet again for the 4th straight season. Cathedral has won 2 of the last 3 matchups. Of course, in recent memory, a 28-0 bout up in Carmel Valley, going the Cathedral Dons' way in that game. Quarterback Lee Norman Lester ended up getting injured. He is back, and he is commanding this offense. And yes, the fans want fried chicken. You will hear this marching band scream it all night long. So I would recommend defrosting some from your freezer right now, because you will be craving it come the 4th quarter here tonight.
And it looks like we have mini cheerleader day. What do they call that out here? So we got even extra fans, because you probably got the parents of the youth cheerleading squad out here today. So it's a nice packed house here at Helix.
Oh, it is a show. The Cathedral Catholic Dons are in town, and they are going to receive first in the white and red helmets. Helix donning the gray pants, the greens, and the whites. The kicker, Marco Di Marino, the senior, who's 10 for 10 on extra points this year and has missed his only field goal attempt. That was back in the season opener and the loss against El Camino. Gets us underway here in week number 5, back towards the end zone. And that's what will be taken at the 5. A little bit of space out across the 20-25, and that's where this return will be laid to rest. Good return here for Cathedral Catholic, and our first opportunity on possession number 1 to see the Cal Berkeley Bear, Brady Palmer.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping we might see a little surprise on side there. If you're the underdog, might as well try something to get some action going. But ball was kicked deep, and Gianluca with the return. We had an Italian name for the kicker. I'm wearing an Italian shirt. It's Italian night here at Helix High School.
Well, I would have brought my pasta.
You said you're going to have fried chicken later, so I don't know how that would
I would venture that there isn't an Italian fried chicken fusion restaurant here in La Mesa. I could
Maybe
be
time
wrong.
to start one.
Speaking of a fusion, how about that old school wing T offense here? Cathedral Catholic with Honor Fa'alave and Willie Flores. He's the RB1 of that backfield, and he takes the first carry for a couple. Flores 52 rushes for just over 250 yards. Does have a pair of touchdowns on the ground. He had that 100-yard rushing game in the win against St. Francis.
Yeah, and Willie Flores not really talked about much because there's so many other stars on this team, but he's a guy who might get some college looks. Only a junior right now, so this is really the season when that's going to start to pick up for him.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 for Palmer. Play action. Looking right. He can run. He keeps. It's a designed keeper for Palmer, and he gets a good chunk back here. It was not 2nd and 10. It was 2nd and 7. That's going to set up a 3rd and short.
Yeah, that was a design keeper that kind of fooled me. I think that might have been an RPO, because take a look at this again. He wants to throw it to 5, and I guess got a little mix up there. That's Logan Jones, who unless it's a really good draw play. So one of us is right, but that would be a really good draw action there for Brady Palmer.
I'm almost never right, so we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You're the coach here.
Well, there's a reason I'm standing here and on the field.
Because you want to hang out with me, man.
That's true. I forgot.
3rd and 2 upcoming. Handoff. Flores up the middle. Finds a crease and more. Flores bouncing out right. And dragging the pile out across into opponent territory down near the 40-yard line. Willie Flores erupting for a big run. And Cathedral Catholic is in Helix territory.
And Cathedral going with the high tempo here. Maybe Willie was mad we didn't mention him in the pregame show. This is a big run here for a big pickup for the Dons. And, yeah, they're trying to get to the huddle kind of fast here.
They don't want to give Helix, who has a deep defense, any time to substitute, get everybody up to the line and play her offense. There's Flores in the backfield. From left to right moves Sebastian Tucker. Palmer looking to throw. Palmer looking to run. Palmer gets the first down and then some. Brady Palmer taken off, and he's into the end zone for a Dons touchdown. 41 yards for Brady Palmer, ripping off a huge run to get the scoring going early for Cathedral Catholic.
And I did not have that on my bingo card. Brady Palmer not known for his legs, but when he needs to use them, why not? And the 41-yard run got through his progression. There's nothing there, so he decided to take off. And, man, I don't think Helix envisioned that being the way they were going to give up their first touchdown. And for Cathedral, I don't think they envisioned that was the way they were going to score it. But it is 6, potentially 7-0 here with 10 minutes left.
Well, Coach Justin Wilcox up at Cal has a good one coming. We knew that before that touchdown run. PAT up and good. But just some confirmation bias here with just Under 2 minutes gone as we take another look at the 41-yard touchdown run by Brady Palmer.
Yeah, there you see progression 1, 2, 3, nothing going on. Might as well take off, and this just went better than expected, and that's a tackle you probably want to make there. But, I mean, Brady Palmer, he's not just like a quarterback, and he's running out there. He's a lot bigger than some of these linebackers. This kid is a great size. There's a reason why Division I coaches were drooling over him, and, you know, this is just icing on the cake.
His uncle Carson did a little bit of that at USC, not so much in the NFL. I think that he really went full pro style once he got to the next level, probably for the best. Had a great career, of course. Now he's up at Rancho Santa Margarita trying to get those Eagles a top spot in the Trinity League, with Mater Dei losing last week to Centennial.
Anybody's league.
Trinity League is for once open in our lifetime.
Probably not, but I think the top 2 dogs might go ahead and take that one, with it being Bosco up there too. But, you know, congratulations to Centennial for pulling out a win they haven't done in, I think, over a decade.
Yep. On the return, going from right to left, is Dario Bartoletti, the junior wide receiver. Takes it to the 25-yard line, and our first opportunity for Lee Norman Lester and this Highlander offense, an offense that has really struggled in their first 4 games, Tommy. They have been outscored significantly, a -72 so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, but, you know, just wait for this to pick up. They have a lot of young guys who we'll talk about during the broadcast who they rely on. This is now mid-season for them, so they've really learned a lot. And as we saw talking to Lee Norman Lester in the pregame, greatest interview of all time, obviously, because I did it. Kid who likes to use his legs a lot, and as you mentioned as well in the pregame, he got hurt in this game last year. So this is a big deal for him to show Cathedral what he's got.
Coming off an ACL and meniscus injury from a season ago against these Dons. Passed for 369 yards and 3 touchdowns, does have 4 interceptions. He's going to keep it up the middle, trying to do his best Brady Palmer impression, but only gets a pair of yards out of it.
Yeah, it's a pretty unique blocking scheme there. They have the tight bunch on the right side. A lot of times teams like to run a sweep out of that. But they bring the tight end, who was the tightest of the tight bunch, in to try and help block down. You see 19 there. Just kind of missed the block a little bit. I'm sure he wanted to angle that differently, but that kind of blew up the play there.
2nd and 7 upcoming here for a Helix team, fresh off a loss to Oceanside last week, 41-14. Reminder, we'll be at Oceanside next week. Oceanside, Mount Miguel. If you're a Helix fan, you're going to want to watch that game because Mount Miguel is a team that you see in 2 weeks.
And you want Oceanside to win that to bring up your rating, so it's important.
That's what Mr. Analytics said. Delayed handoff, right through the pile, pushing right at that line to gain. It will depend on the spot. My guess is that'll be a first down. Indeed, it will.
And Sean Fanua, one of their linemen, with kind of an embarrassing moment there in the front screen, kind of tripping over himself. But Sean Fanua is one of their best blockers. You'll see him in the front there, playing right tackle. Great run and good job up front. Here, Sean, whoops, took a seat there. But that's okay, Sean. You made the block.
You know what? He's working hard. He's allowed to take a seat first. Now, don't tell his coach I gave him permission.
No, that's fine. He's just going to take a little break there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to set up a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 here. Brady Palmer got this game going with a 41-yard touchdown run on the Dons opening drive. Time for Helix to try and respond here. Lee Norman Lester, QB1, Caden Thompson, QB2. More on that here in a moment. Another handoff right up the chute. Pile ensues, and it's going to go for a gain of 3 on the play. So back-to-back run plays here. Really back-to-back-to-back run plays here for the Helix offense. Do you think that this is the Highlanders not trying to show their cards too early, or are they really just trying to hammer and establish this ground game?
No, so yeah, kind of in the open, I was saying they really want to take their time on offense because the best way for them to win this game is to eat clock and then score. So they signal in the play, and then Lee Norman Lester's jogging over. I think that's kind of just for show, more just, again, to waste as much of that play clock as possible. That's why I feel like running the ball here is by design. If they can get a few first downs without having to throw, that's fantastic because they can eat some of that clock.
Yeah, if you are a fan of European football, think about the Chelsea offense. Just hold the ball and try to slowly inch your way towards the attacking zone. That is not a slow inch, though. That is a burst of speed for Bryson Calloway, his 3rd carry for a first down.
Yes. So that's the same blocking scheme that you're going to see. This Jeremy Davis, 19, is going to motion in. That's the exact same spot he started when he was in the tight bunch. Maybe a hold, got away with it. That's fine. Again, same blocking scheme, except now you have the running back take it instead of making the quarterback run it. Great job there by Jeremy Davis to secure that block.
Jeremy Davis, a name you'll hear a lot of, playing on the offensive side in the tight end spot, and also the defensive leader on this team. 30 tackles coming into the game. More on him upcoming. 1st and 10 from the 48. Handoff, Callaway veering right, and met by a host of white jerseys out near that 50-yard line.
So I have 5 fingers on my hands. This is the top that I can count to. Was that 5 runs in a row?
You know you have 2 hands, right?
But I'm holding some of the other ones. So 5 is my max right now.
That would be the 5th run play in a row here for the Highlanders.
So, yeah, I mean, this is exactly what you want to do if you're Helix. Ideally, they would have gotten the ball first and gotten to do this to frustrate Cathedral a little bit. But this drive started with, 10 minutes? And they're going to eat close to 4 minutes after this play. So this is exactly what they wanted.
Time of possession favoring the Highlanders. Not so much of the score here, though, early in the game. 2nd and 10. Delayed, and nope, it's a play action. Pressure coming. A prayer thrown and answered out across the 40. How about that? Hauled in by Dario Bartoletti, the junior.
At first, I thought he was going to try and hit Davis in the flats, especially with the pressure in his face, but he goes up top to Bartoletti. Great job with pressure in his face, just making that throw. Again, I did not think that was going to be available, given the fact he couldn't set his feet or really do anything, but flipped it out there, made a nice throw.
15-yarder. 2nd reception of the season for the man who typically is a kick returner. But showing off the speed and the wherewithal to be in the right place at the right time. Lee Norman Lester has had a difficult time this season with that offensive line, so they've really relied on him to create a lot of their offense. And right there you saw why they've put so much faith in their quarterback to create, because he can pull off the impossible. Flag is going to throw. We're going to get a delay of game on the offense.
False start. I didn't really see it, unless Jeremy Davis was coming forward too fast after the motion, but I didn't see it at all. Maybe
So
something on that far side.
5 yards, 1st and 15 now.
One of his assistant coaches got his sunglasses on. I think I'm going to remind him it is no longer sunny outside. I mean, I don't know, man. It's for the look. I don't know. I'm wearing my best, I guess. So
I am a big proponent of wearing shades whenever you feel like it.
It is.
Life is meant to be seen through the lens of sunglasses.
It is the TVX Sports Game of the Week. He knows that. He knows he's on TV. Maybe he's just dressing up a little bit.
He pulled out all the stops. Fair enough. Get Ferragamo on the line and have them put together wardrobe for this broadcast. Under 5:15 to go here, first quarter. Helix still driving. It's 1st and 15 after the flag. Lee Norman Lester is alone. Shotgun. Looking to carry. Finding a seam, diving forward and out across the 35. Looked like he would have been dead in the water, but instead gets it right back to the original line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming.
The reason he looked dead in the water is because they did that same blocking scheme. Look at Davis going inside a tackle, and it just gets blown up, and so Lester has to bounce it outside and just makes a great cut there. And really, that should have been a 1-yard gain. He turned into 7.
And Stavros Hetrick, the senior linebacker, breathing down his back. He was running forward. If I had Stavros Hetrick breathing down my back, I'd just go into fetal position on the ground. I wouldn't keep running because that guy would probably catch me.
And I mean, again, we mentioned in the pregame, look at the clock right now. We're almost around 4 minutes in the first quarter. This is a nice, long, sustained drive. Make Cathedral's offense get frustrated having to sit there and wait. This is perfect for Helix.
2nd and 10. Lee Norman Lester is 1 for 1 for 15 yards here on this opening drive. Looking to go 2 for 2. Had a man out left. Pocket collapses. Running out of time and pressure. Throwing one into coverage. It's intercepted inside the 5. A dangerous pass and a fortuitous grab for the Dons. Flags come flying in. And finally he's taken down near the 40-yard line. The interception by Titus Napoleon. His 3rd of the season.
And that is one Lee Norman Lester's going to want back because, as you mentioned, he had available easy throw right there and decided to just kind of not take it. And this, I don't think this is part of the design of the play. I think he's just trying to make something happen and saw one of his favorite receivers out there, Jerome Stevens. And it's tough when, again, against Cathedral's defense, these one-on-one matchups are really never going to be in your favor. It's maybe against somebody else that's a good idea, but not the best idea against what is arguably one of the best defenses in San Diego.
They're still cleaning up the flags down on the field.
This is going to be on the return, though, so it's still going to be Cathedral's ball. It's just a matter of where.
3rd interception for Titus Napoleon. That is a name that will earn you a couple of interceptions.
When you get named that, you're going to be good at something. I think it's a strong Titus and Napoleon. You got 2 strong names there. So
we're going to get an illegal block in the back here on Cathedral.
7.
And a sideline warning on Helix. You don't have to whisper. It's me. You can
sorry,
tell everybody.
I meant to hit the talk back, and that's my fault. That's the rookie mistake there for me.
It's all good.
But no, the sideline infraction, and again, that probably happened after the blindside block is my assumption that it happened. The flag didn't come out. Coaches panic and start screaming, accidentally run on the field, and then, sideline warning there. So we're going to march it back, I think 15 from the spot of the foul.
Cathedral Catholic team drawing up the offense. Sean Doyle in his 30th season.
Oh, they didn't give him a warning. They gave him the real one.
They gave him the real
So there
one.
must have been a bump there.
It was a sideline infraction, not a warning. Nonetheless, the pick still stands, and the Dons have the ball. Their second drive of the game, trying to complement a great defensive stop, and prior to that, the 41-yard eruption touchdown run by quarterback Brady Palmer. Play action, passes received, far side, Sebastian Tucker. He's the tight end, chugging his way for 12 yards.
Yeah, that's one of those count those numbers plays. If you like the numbers on the outside, go ahead and flip it out. And I think we have an injured Don here. That is Sebastian, unfortunately, after the play.
That was Tucker's second reception of the season. He's been a stout defender playing on the D-line.
Yeah, so out of the pistol formation, what I mean by count the numbers is he knows he can get that bubble out there. If he gets a 3-on-2, he's going to flip it out there. If not, he's going to go ahead and hand it off to his back. He liked the numbers, which was the correct choice, and it was a good play. Unfortunately, it does result in injury for Sebastian Tucker.
Yeah, Jeremy Davis, the one who ended up tackling him. But these Dons were off last week. They're 3-0. They opened up the season with a 52-7 win against Mater Dei Catholic. It's funny, you see Brady Palmer's 128 yards, or 182 yards rather, and you think, well, that's not that impressive. That's all they needed. Honor Fa'alave had an 80-yard touchdown run in that game. Willie Flores at 121 yards on the ground. And then in week 1, they played St. Francis, a team out in NorCal, and won 35-7. And then in week 2, they played Chandler out there in Arizona and won 24-23. Despite Palmer struggling in that game, he ran for 124 yards and a touchdown, and of course, Honor Fa'alave, 140 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns on the ground. That's really the only reason Cathedral won that game against Chandler.
And I will say this about Brady Palmer's stats for the rest of the season. Do not look at them the same as everybody else's, because there will be a lot of games for Cathedral where they're winning by 4 possessions at halftime, and they just got to take them out or they got to stop throwing. So really almost double whatever his stats are, because if all games are competitive, that's what it would be. But the defense is so good. It's just a lot of these games might be blowouts, and they're going to be playing the JV kids for the second half.
They're still checking on Sebastian Tucker down there, going down hard after a 12-yard grab. And
yeah, it looked like a knee injury. As you can see him favoring that right leg there. Hopefully he's okay.
Oh, favoring that left leg. Yeah, hopefully he's wow. Hopefully he can be looked at and he'll be okay. That is never a sight you want to see at any level, especially here at high school. Because for a lot of these kids, this is the passion, right? You want to play football. This is probably your only opportunity to do it. Less than 1% make it to the next level, and less than that make it to the following level. So
Sebastian is a senior tight end defensive lineman, so this is his last season of football.
So certainly hope that he can get back in a speedy fashion. Nonetheless, it's 1st and 10 from their own 38. 7-0 here, 3:30 and counting in quarter number 1. Brady Palmer, the quarterback. Willie Flores, the running back. In this pistol formation, pass is incomplete. Ooh, a drop by Honor Fa'alave. That is a rarity from the number 32 recruit, according to ESPN.
I will say you will never see that again. I do think he projects probably as a defensive player when he gets to college, but that's not because he's bad at offense. It's because he's so good at defense, too. I don't think we'll ever see him drop passes. Maybe a little bit out in front.
They say he's full of surprises, and that right there was a surprise. So it's on brand for him if you're taking that perspective.
And give some credit to Jeremy Davis. Part of that was Honor looking over his left shoulder to see what was coming, and that's why he dropped the ball, took the eyes off before it hit the hands. So Jeremy Davis has been all over the field.
2nd and 10. Palmer near side and incomplete. Butterfingers all over the place here. Blake Sloan had his first opportunity for a catch this season, and he dropped it.
And this one's the opposite problem because he was so open, he got too excited. Corner runs with the receiver. There's nobody out there. Guy responsible for the flats right there is Dante Wright. He was not there on time, and as I mentioned, he was so open. Those are almost harder because you start to be, oh my gosh.
Back when I played basketball, I got so jaded from having an open layup. I would have rather gotten, hit on the way up and had an opportunity. It just, for whatever reason.
Should I have not trusted you on the free throw line then back in the day?
No, free throws I was good because I would, trust me. Look, whenever it's when your back's against the wall. It's when you're too comfortable.
Yeah.
When you aren't doing your best work. Speaking of Palmer, he's doing his good work dancing right now, and that D-line does its job. Swallowing up for a loss of 3 on the play and the sack. The man leading the charge, Jake Williams, normally a wide receiver, playing a little defense right now.
And that's a big play there on 3rd down. We'll see the Dons punt. And he could have had Honor Falave there on the seam. He bent it a little bit. I thought he got his inside leverage on the safety, but kind of didn't. Brady didn't like it for whatever reason. Maybe he's got a better vantage point than I do up here. Tried to take off, and big sack.
That is actually Dante Wright, my mistake. That is tackle number 29 to his season. That puts him 2nd on the team. Brady Palmer a little frustrated with himself right there. A rarity to see that offensive line give up a sack, but that will bring out the punting unit for the first time here tonight. 2.5 to go in the first quarter. Punt is flat out. It's going to drop near the 40 and take a Helix bounce out near the 45, and that's where Lee Norman Lester will command this offense on drive number 2. So you're this Cathedral, or rather you're the Helix offense. You actually have a pretty good first drive. Unfortunately, after some decent orchestration, it ends in an interception. But then your defense comes and they get the stop. So a little bit more confidence here in drive number 2.
Oh, 100%. All you have to tell Lee Norman Lester is look, dude, we were fine. You didn't have to get 40 yards there. We're moving the ball. We're running the ball. We're eating the clock. We're doing exactly what we wanted. Let's just settle down for the second drive. We got a gift there from the defense. Let's do what we started the game with and do what our game plan was, and we'll be okay. 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. That's great for Helix.
Game within reach here in the opening 12 minutes. Which is how football works, believe it or not. In the shotgun is Lee Norman Lester. As that trips on the strong side, quick screen pass out on the near side is caught. That's Dario Bartoletti, his 2nd reception. And flying into the pile, he goes for a gain of 5.
It's Dario day today. He's had the ball 3 times. And that's a good job there by Logan Jones, the corner over there on this near side, because he made the receiver whiff on that block. That could have been a huge game, but because he beat his man, Dario had to cut that back in. You'll see 5 fly up on the, there he is right there on the inside of your screen, the bottom part of your screen, sorry. Good tackle made there by Kevin Clark.
Washington State commit Josh Faramo also in on that mix. Is a little strong and free safety for Coach John Doyle and company. 2nd and 5. Quick handoff. Callaway finding a seam and exploding up the middle for a first down.
That is working. We talked about the front 4 for Cathedral and how they wreak havoc on most teams, but today the Helix line has figured it out, especially in the run game. And we'll take a look at it one more time. Just keep doing this. If you're Helix, this is literally picture perfect. If you're able to run the ball effectively, this could be a very close game. We might see an upset here.
Well, how surprising to see the effectiveness of the gut run here for the Highlanders offense. Not often you see what I have claimed is one of the best defensive lines in all of California give up the A-gap right up the middle.
And I'll agree with it. I mean, this is not what I expected at all. I did not expect them to have such an easy time running the ball, but they have.
5 wide for LNL. It's a designed run. He goes short side of the field, hopping through a couple of white and red jerseys and taken down here after a gain of 6 on the play.
And that is what Lee Norman Lester brings, which not a lot of players in the county can. Not only can he run the ball, he's a good power runner as well. So not shy from contact. Will lower his shoulder and run through somebody. You see him get a couple yards after contact. And this is perfect. This might end the quarter here. I don't know how much. No, they probably got to run one more play, but they will take their time.
Yeah, you talk about, how his style is a little bit different, asymmetric, if you will, compared to other quarterbacks. It's sort of on par with the Gage Weddle, what we saw at Rancho Bernardo, what Crete Makahele does up there at San Marcos. It's a very dynamic offensive quarterbacking style. Delayed handoff, and that one is blown up in the backfield. That will be the final play of this first quarter. Bronx Latuli Gasanoa, the San Jose State commit, as of a couple of weeks ago, with the final play And the Dons are up 7-0 with 12 minutes in the books. We're on the foothills of Mount Helix here in La Mesa, and it's your TVX Sports Video YurView San Diego section game of the week. 7-0 Dons after 1.
San Diego High School football is going live. Starting Friday, August 29th, the San Diego section will be partnering with TVX Sports Video to broadcast one high school matchup every week for free on YouTube, YurView San Diego, and Cox Cable.
Friday, September 26, Mount Miguel travels to face Oceanside on the San Diego section game of the week. Watch live on YouTube at TVX Sports Video, Cox Channel 4, and YurView, California.
Bit of a surprise here after 12 minutes. 7-0. The Dons rated number 2 here, according to the Union Tribune polls. Taking on the Helix Highlanders in years past, this was the game circled as the game to watch here in San Diego. Well, here tonight, it apparently still is, because the Highlanders coming in as major underdogs, currently putting up a real fight.
I mean, we still circle it.
Well, so, it's a priority for everybody, but...
Is that Mario Kart right there?
Well, you know what? We've
had...
It looks like a version of Mario Kart. We've had Dario Bartoletti on the football field, and we have Mario in the football stands.
I think that was Sonic running through a bunch of rings, which is kind of what Lee Norman Lester's looked like tonight, running through the whole line, picking his spots through the hole.
I'm more of a shadow guy, if I'm going to be honest.
I like Mario. It's the sound effects that get me every time. I don't know what it is. It's hilarious.
Lee Norman Lester keeping it here and getting swallowed alive by that dynamic defensive line.
Well, we mentioned Mario. That is Bowser for Cathedral right there. That is
Asofa Lawifi.
Yeah, thank you for that. But yeah, I mean, at some point, you know, this defensive line can get sick of getting run through, and they have had enough. Bronx Latui there too.
Yeah, Bronx Latui Gasanoa is one scary dude. You partner him up with some of the other heavy hitters on that defensive line, and you got Honor Falave playing defense. You got Josh Faramo flying in as a free safety at times into the backfield. That is a dangerous recipe for an opposing offense. 4th down means a punt. That's Logan Jones back to return. 4 receptions on the season as a wide receiver, the typical punt returner, which is a position these Dons opponents have found themselves in. Marco Di Giamarino to punt this one away. The righty with the boot. It's going to drop near the 25, trickle towards the Dons, and continue where it's going to settle here inside the 15-yard line for Cathedral Catholic's first drive here of quarter number 2.
Logan Jones thought about it on that second bounce, but special teams coordinator, who's actually above us right now on top of the booth, Braden Soprano, would have maybe flew down from the top of the...
You would hear on Braden's radio show on Monday on 97.1 The Fan, you would hear about that play. I promise you.
So, yeah, I mean, maybe Logan knows that he gets called out to all of San Diego if he does something wrong.
Well, you know, Coach Sean Doyle's had 30 seasons under his helm. He has 8 section titles. He has 14 total section championships and 8 CIF section titles. They were 9-3 last year with 2 losses to Lincoln. Passes complete on the near side to Isaac Cook, his first reception here tonight, his 10th of the season. And it's a team that really felt like they could have beaten Lincoln in the open division. Unfortunately, they could not. But they are reloaded as we take another look. And you were talking about in the pregame, in this matchup last year, Hunter Harrington had 3 of the team's 4 touchdowns. Hunter Harrington is not playing football this year because he is preparing to play baseball at Stanford, which is a top 5 program in the nation. Screen pass left side. It's complete. On the move, Jackson Montes, his first reception. Check that. That's Gianluca Busalacci, the Italian, towing the left sideline for a big gain on the play. There was a flag all the way back near the 30-yard line. By the way, that would be his first reception of the season for Gianluca.
Let's see what the flag is. It feels like it should be a hold if it's there.
They're telling everybody to come back.
So what's a bummer about that is it's probably on the perimeter, and Gianluca didn't even use the block because the block was not effective. You'll see him just go outside with it. See it one more time. Again, an RPO. And that's Honor Falave. Yeah, I guess he probably needed to do that. Because, again, that's designed for him to come in and catch it. And good job out on the perimeter by Helix to make that block difficult, causing the hold. And I'm telling you, Jonathan, this has all the makings of an upset right now.
Tommy Morris is anti-broadcaster's jinx.
Or does it? There, unjinxed. Jinx, unjinxed. I unjinxed the jinx. What's that called?
All I'm telling you, Tommy, is you're giving everybody a very easy person to blame. It is 2nd and 11.
I reverse jinx. That's what it is.
They're still trying to get the official spot. Look, it's a Friday night in week 5. I think all of us are starting to feel it's amazing how the transition of the season goes, and all of a sudden you're almost halfway through it. 2nd and 11. But going back to that just illustrious coaching career for Coach Sean Doyle, he's known for his discipline, his fundamentals. He molds those tough teams.
And he's currently very unhappy over there on the far sideline.
Play action, Flores, far side, Fa'alave trying to barrel his way through and gets a chunk of yards back. But 3rd down still staring this Dons team right in the face.
Yeah, that's a different way to do that same little screenplay. Instead, now the slot guy is going to catch it, and Gianluca has to do the blocking, and he does a nice job. Again, maybe they thought that the outside linebacker / safety, Jace Sells, was too difficult to block, so they decided to go ahead and block the corner instead.
Yeah, Fa'alave has about 4 inches and 60 pounds on that guy, but
good for Jace. I mean, he's not scared. I mean, he knows what he's up against, and he's holding his own.
3rd and 6 for the Cal Bear. Flores, the running back. This time, far side, pass complete, and they do give it to Gianluca, officially his first reception of his varsity career.
Yeah, and they're trying to get him going, too, because he's back there returning kicks. He's now been throwing the ball twice. And unfortunately, if it wasn't for that hold, that would have been a huge game. But, I mean, this is a nice little play here. That's an RPO. And people will ask, what's the difference between RPO, play action? You can tell it's an RPO by the line.
Here's play action, near side, caught. Isaac Cook, his 2nd reception, and muscles his way for a couple. Did I get that right? Was that play action?
I don't think so. I mean, we'll take a look at the line. If the line is run blocking, if they're trying to go downfield, it's an RPO. But that looked like it could have been straight play action to me because the running back came in and helped with the interior block.
So the answer was
right.
yes
to
my
right.
question.
Right.
Okay,
yes.
good. I love being told I'm wrong, and then at the end of the explanation being told I was right. 2nd and 5. Fa'alave on a little jet sweep, trying to find a crease. You see the muscle takes 4 green jerseys to take him down. And it's after a gain of maybe 1 on the play.
Well, this is good scouting here because Joshua Ferramo is playing running back, which means Flores is out. He's not getting the ball. He's going to be there for a perimeter block, and that's exactly what happened. So Helix figured that out probably in film during the week, and they're ready for Honor to be going on that jet sweep.
Trying to reward Honor Fa'alave, the man with 35 offers. Here's a run, bouncing out to the left side for Ramo, proving Tommy Morris wrong and saying, I do get some carries sometimes, sir. This is my first carry of the season.
Yeah, the Dons had to keep me honest, I guess. Now let's take him out.
20 mark of the 2nd quarter in week number 5.
Yeah, you got to put that on film, too, because you can't be him blocking every time that he's in the game. So, again, he's a bigger body than Flores. You see Flores there, 25 in the backfield, so better blocker.
No P.J. Johnson out there. Haven't seen him out there all drive. Instead, they're going to go to his backup, Isaac Cook, for his 3rd reception in space. Cook staying on his feet. Cook bouncing out left. Cook with his eyes towards the end zone. Touchdown, Dons. 61 yards for Isaac Cook. His first touchdown of the season, and it's 13-0 pending the PAT.
Too many Cooks, Jonathan. There, you got that RPO again. You got the slant bubble out there on the outside. And Palmer liked the slant. Look how far down. That could almost been a legal man downfield, by the way. Cook with a nice catch and run, and the run was better than the catch. I mean, this is impressive. There's 3 guys who should have a chance to make that tackle, and Cook's like, don't call me a backup, Jonathan.
Oh, I didn't call him a backup. He just normally backs up one of the best wide receivers in California. That is not saying that you are a backup. You were just on a team with some very talented wide receivers. Nonetheless, here's the PAT. It is up, and it is good. 14-0. Cathedral Catholic. That drive a little bit more exemplifying of that Cathedral Catholic offense that we were expecting to see. Of course, we see a 41-yard touchdown run by Palmer, and now the 61-yard touchdown pass for Palmer to Isaac Cook.
So are you a video game guy?
It depends on the season.
So I am. I love the college football game, and I love to spam the RPOs when I'm playing, and it very much frustrates people online. I've been called a lot of words that I can't repeat on air, but that's basically what Cathedral's been doing all night. It feels like RPO after RPO after RPO, and finally they broke one for a touchdown, and then, again, we had the one that was a hold on Honor when Gianluca had that streaking up the sideline. So they're just going to keep doing that until Helix finds a way to stop it, and it's one of the hardest plays in football to stop, or types of plays, in football to stop, because if it's done correctly by the quarterback, it's literally impossible to stop.
Bryce Bergman, the kicker, has made all 10 of his PATs this season, both of his field goals. He's done the kickoff duties as well. Only one to return here for Helix. It's going to be taken out near the 5. Plenty of space out front on the return, and that quickly is eliminated out near the 25 for Dante Wright and this Helix offense. Again, an offense who has found ways to be productive. As there's a flag thrown,
might need to add 15 to that. It looked like a late hit.
Which goes in favor of this Dons team, or rather this Highlander team. But it's a Highlander team that has moved the ball, but they just haven't been consistent enough or been able to accrue long yardage situations consistently, if you will, to really make the most out of their drives, as you get the call here.
It's an unsportsmanlike. I could tell it was on Cathedral the way that Helix is reacting to it, but then it looked like the officiating staff wasn't sure if it'd be one of each. You know what I mean? They always get the second guy, so it will be a penalty on Cathedral. So at 15.
We do have an ambulance that pulled up. There was an injury earlier in the game. We don't make any assumptions, so we'll hold off right now, but we'll keep you posted. Lee Norman Lester. He's going to do a delayed handoff. That goes for a gain of 4 on the play. On the carry was Bryson Calloway, his 5th here tonight.
And again, if you're Helix, you got to just not panic. I know it's a 2-score game now. You got to do your best to just settle down and do what was effective on the first drive. Again, it does seem like Cathedral has sort of woken up a little bit on the inside, but I try it one more time before I totally abandon the run and start trying to make Lee Norman Lester whip it around.
Lee Norman Lester had a really tough game in week number 2, but it was tough for every quarterback. That was the 51-14 loss against Castile. The quarterbacks in that game combined for 91 yards and 3 interceptions. This handoff to Callaway goes for a short gain. 3rd and long upcoming, about 5. And despite the tough play for the Castile quarterback, it was the ground game that really allowed the team from Arizona to run away with the win, 51-14, as we take another look here at this defensive stop after a 2-yard run by Callaway.
Dan, if you notice, Helix for a lot of this game has been using 6 offensive linemen. They have, you'll see him playing what looks like tight end, but in high school you can't do the whole I'm eligible thing with an eligible number. That's Neville's Henson, who is playing the de facto tight end, but he actually can't catch a pass. So I personally think that's tough, because you're now telling the defense this is not somebody who can catch a pass. You're used to having to cover 5 guys. You only have to cover 4 now. So it doesn't, it is sort of the giveaway that it's going to be a pass, and it looks like here they've actually taken him out.
Callaway, the running back, LNL in the shoddy. 5:40 and counting. Looking to throw. 3rd reception, Dario Bartoletti, and he gets swallowed up, but after getting a yard past the line to gain. Tommy, you're pointing at the monitor with a puzzling look. What are you looking at?
Well, a good catch there by Bartoletti, but then way after, again, unless he was shoved into it, Ryder McCollinoff comes flying over the top of the pile. We will hopefully see it here towards right. It's way after. It's not even close. Right. Look, here he comes. Now, I don't understand unless there was a fumble, but that just felt way late. I don't know. That was a good. If that was basketball, you'd almost get a 3-second call there before you get that dive in.
1st and 10 from the 48. Cathedral has done a very good job of limiting big play moments for Helix, but Helix has slowly chipped away on their drives. They have yet to close the door, though. They had a promising drive ending in an interception. This one is a one-on-one that is caught. Is he in bounds? Jeremy Robinson, no, he is not. The team's most reliable receiver searching for his first reception. And despite making the grab, he could not come with it in bounds. There was a flag back near the 40-yard line.
I actually think he did catch that. We might get a look at that again, but when he's coming down, his foot, almost like a ballerina, just the tippy tip of his toes, I think, came down. And Jeremy, we talked to him this week. He's not the biggest dude. He's only a sophomore. Look at his right foot. Oh,
I
it
don't
just
think he ever
missed.
touched
It just missed the ground.
Great defense, though, by Logan Jones. If you're a wrestling coach at Cathedral and you need another dude, I mean, look at this. Look at this. The ability to wrap him up and have the wherewithal. Just get him down out of bounds right there.
Oh, man. If he's 1 inch taller, that's a catch. But I think he's only 15 years old. He's a sophomore. By the time he's 16, that's a catch.
The flag does go against Cathedral, though, a personal foul. So maybe a little bit more retroactive, if you will, than anything. But that is going to move this ball all the way up into Don's territory, just shy, I think, of the 35.
I mean, that puts it basically where it would have been if it was a catch. So it's a wash.
So Helix now in the deepest part of Don's territory on their Friday night, trying to erase a 14-0 deficit. And Sofa Laufi is going to jog off here.
Yeah, I can't tell if he was hurt or if he had an equipment issue.
It looked like an equipment issue.
And now we're going to get a conversation here. Doyle would like a conversation.
Coach Sean Doyle going to chat here with the officials. Of course.
You know, I'm surprised he didn't have to use a timeout to do this. He might have. Because generally you can't just do that. Cathedral must have called a timeout there because I don't think they give you this free talking to.
Coach Doyle, the only coach in San Diego to have ever coached his own son to a CIF championship back in 2016. Take his son Nick in this Dons team and accomplished just that accolade. Here's the mini cheerleaders, as you so poetically put it in the pregame.
There's probably a better word for it.
How about up-and-comers?
Sure. We'll call
the
them that.
next generation of great high school cheerleaders here at Helix High School.
Oh, they're like holding them up now. That must be much easier than having to hold up the high school girls. So that, maybe put them on the varsity team. That feels like an easier task. 1st and 10 after the official timeout. Extra lineman here on the line. Handoff to Callaway. First hole was open, but that quickly closes. And that defensive line once again collapsing after a gain of 3, maybe 4 on the run. Yeah, and there's Neville's Henson back in there at quote-unquote tight end, but he's really just an extra tackle over on that left side. Good job up front. That's what they got to do. And ideally, they score here and don't give Cathedral the ball back before halftime because because they're going to get the ball back too, so you can get a 2-for-1, and then all of a sudden it's a one-possession game and you've got the ball. So we do have an update on Sebastian Tucker, the senior tight end. He is currently being carted out to the ambulance. He did come down with what appeared to be a knee injury. He could not put any pressure on that right leg earlier in the first quarter. So certainly wish him the best and get well as quickly and as efficiently and as healthily as possible, because that is a scary sight. Here's a handoff to Callaway on 2nd and 7. That'll cut it down to a 3rd and about 4 upcoming after the 3-yard run. Nice design there. So Jeremy Davis shuffling in. You're expecting to see that run on the right side like you've seen a million times when he's done that, and they go ahead and hand it off and bounce it off to the left. And I think Davis is also an option there if Lester wants to throw it, but decided to hand it off, and that seemed like it was the correct decision. Stavros Hetrick was there on the stop. 3rd and 5 for Helix team, who has one win this season, a 21-6 win against St. Augustine. That was the best all-around game by that man. Funny enough, it wasn't the highlight, despite Norman Lester's 107 yards of total offense. It was the trick play from Caden Thompson to Jeremy Robinson that ended up being the nail in the coffin for Helix. Here's a timeout on the Highlanders, and it was actually drawn up by their offensive coordinator Tyler Genesauer, who is the head coach of the Indoor Football League team here, the San Diego Strike Force. He calls it turn 2 like a double play on that trick pass that beat the Saints, and Helix hoping to try and emulate some of the success in that game here tonight, but so far it has been the Dons' evening to lose, up 14-0. 3 minutes to go here in the first half. And you mentioned Jeremy Robinson, and we saw him earlier on this drive just narrowly maybe by a blade of grass not bringing that catch. I go to him again. Why not? I think 3rd and 5 here, you're going to get 2 plays. I don't think they're going to kick a field goal from here. They're definitely not going to punt it. So take a shot here. Why not? And then you got 4th down to work with too. And he's over on the sideline saying something to the offense coordinator, so maybe a pass here. 3rd and 5. Callaway and Norman Lester teaming up in the shotgun. The lone receiver is Jeremy Robinson on the left.
L&L, the blitz is coming, and he gets absolutely swallowed up. Flying in and taking him down is Stavros Hetrick, and that is a difficult play to stop there for that offensive line.
Yeah, you mentioned they really only have to rush with 4. That time they bring 5, and just that one extra dude made all the difference. And, man, if you're a normal lesser, you've got to get rid of this. In high school, there's not intentional grounding. You do not have to get outside the tackle box. You can just throw it as long as you get to the line of scrimmage. It's fine. Just throw that thing into the porta potties out there by the Cathedral bench. Just get rid of it, because now you have to punt, being 4th in a million.
Second sack of the season for Mr. Hetrick. And Marco Di Marino back out there for his second time punting here tonight. Clock trickling on, just under 2:12 and counting on 4th and 15. Back to return is Logan Jones. He's standing at the 10.
A little confusion here with what's going on. I think they're just trying to
I think they were missing a player.
Well, you punter. You better not. You got the long snapper and the punter were still getting ready, I guess. I don't know what's going on. But now we have
now Jeremy Davis. Should I be out here? Should I not be out here?
Give that kid a break, man. That kid is on every single. Yeah, they're going to call timeout. I don't think he's left the field yet.
Oh, I heard that he sleeps in the end zone. So he never leaves the field.
Well, actually, you know what? That might have been an intentional delay game to give the punter a little room. Or did they call timeout? Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, now I'm confused because they're coming off the field. So this should be – does Helix think this is a timeout? You can't be doing this now. All right. I don't think there's a look – I don't think Helix knows it's not a timeout. Unless they are trying to get another delay of game. But the coaches should not be out by the numbers.
Well, nonetheless,
if it was me, I would have gotten yelled at. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's a given.
Yeah.
Marco Di Marino back out there at the 42. Logan Jones at the 15. High snap. Gigi Marano comes down with it. It's a bit wobbly, and it drops at the 20. And it's going to be laid to rest, maybe a quarter of a yard thereafter. So Cathedral Catholic has a $140 to try and put an exclamation point on what has been a very interesting first half. Really, 2 explosive plays have been the entirety of the offense for Cathedral.
And I think they probably will. I mean, you have a quarterback like Brady Palmer, minute 30 is no big deal to go 80 yards, especially when you have Ana Falave and you have Isaac Cook out there on the perimeter, who also has been killing Helix so far today with that one long catch and run. So might as well try it, right?
Brady Palmer, last time we saw him out there, a 61-yard touchdown pass. This one is a 5-yard rush by Honor Falave, his 3rd carry here in the first half.
And Sean Fanua, we mentioned him earlier playing tackle. He also plays defense with a really nice tackle there. Kid, again, both sides of the ball type player. Really, really, really good interior lineman for Helix.
Palmer rolling right. Fires incomplete. Pass was short, intended for Isaac Cook. Sort of doomed from the beginning. There wasn't a ton behind that play.
And I want to clarify that. So obviously at tackle, he's not an interior lineman, but defensively, he's a defensive tackle. So that's what I was trying to say there.
We'll look at it here. Palmer recognizing the pressure was going to come pretty immediately, which is why he rolled.
Yeah, I mean, with Flores out there in front, probably design roll, and there was no one for Flores to block. I mean, it was that effective out there on the right tackle. I think that is the USC commit, Chase Dinas, isn't it?
3rd and 5 on a slant. He has the man. Isaac Cook out across the 45-yard line. That's a 20-yard gain here as the clock winds to a minute.
Yeah, they got to hustle to get to the line. And now they're going to waste the time out here. I would have gone ahead and just tried to snap it if I'm Cathedral. I don't know if you need to burn time out there.
Well, unless you're trying to score on this drive.
Well, yeah, but you might want to save it. They're already out the line. They already have Helix on their toes. Just go ahead and call, one of your base plays there. Shoot, even take a shot. Worst case, it's an incomplete pass and the clock stops anyway. Doyle's mad about something.
We have not seen P.J. Johnson for much of this first half, the star wide receiver. It's been a mix of Logan Jones and Isaac Cook, who just had that 21-yard reception, who have filled in nicely for the 3-star wide receiver. But if we get any more information about P.J. Johnson, which unfortunately at this level of football doesn't always happen in our position, we will certainly let you know. 65 seconds to go in a first half that has 2 touchdowns. One was 49-yard rush, rather a 41-yard rushing touchdown for Brady Palmer, and the other a 61-yard touchdown reception. And
that young lady was not entertained.
Is she calling plays off the iPad?
She
is that
what?
Is it like the fan-controlled football league where you get to recommend
have a
plays?
Jim Harbaugh Belichick situation, but you might be filming the sidelines here. We got to make sure we double check on that.
First and 10 from the 47. Brady Palmer, pressure coming. Palmer throwing. Received near side, out of bounds near the 30, brought in by Logan Jones, his second reception here of the first half.
Yeah, another rollout there. Helix is ready for it. Flushing Palmer almost out of bounds, but Palmer doing a good job sinking post. He wanted to tuck it there and was quick to bring it back to a good throwing position and finds Jones right on the sideline. Good, safe throw for a first down, and you see why Cal likes Brady Palmer.
29-yard line, and it's a flip up to Fa'alave. This time he has space. Turning on the Jets for a moment. Skipping upfield. Evading pressure. Honor Fa'alave is in. Touchdown Dons.
Would you say rated number 32 in the country? What, 31, 32?
According to ESPN, that man right there who has 35 offers is the 32nd, the 32nd ranked player, whatever you want to say, in the nation.
I think after that run, he's going to move up to 25. This shouldn't have never happened. This should have been a 1-yard gain. Good blocking up front, and that should be a tackle. And then this should be a tackle. And then that should be a tackle. And then he can just run backwards from there. That is very impressive. That's when it's too easy for you. That's all it is. Again, I'm putting him at 28. I'll call ESPN right after this.
He makes look like a man playing amongst boys out there. PAT is good. 21-0. 3 explosive plays by this Dons offense to go up by 3 possessions.
Hey, one more look at it, and let's count the amount of tackles it should have been. I think it was 3 I had on the first one. That one, again, that's a good move. This should have been pushed out of bounds, but he's too strong. And then that one is just, again, the agility, the speed, the quickness. And, man, I can see why everybody wants him on their team. Maybe he should play offense. Maybe I was wrong before.
He was 14 for 295 coming into the game. That's his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. He has offers from the likes of USC, Texas, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Michigan, Georgia, Florida State, Auburn, BYU. I mean, there's 35 schools on the list.
Yeah, I mean, USC sounds good to me, Jonathan. I don't know about you. I think that's probably a good landing spot for him. But if you look at his huddle highlights, a lot of his touchdowns are like that, where he breaks like 5 tackles effortlessly and then just jogs into the end zone.
It's funny that you bring up your alma mater, because my alma mater has been hot on his trail. Coach Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks are really trying to sway Fa'alave to join them up in Eugene as the bouncer goes into the hands of Jay Sells, dancing his way to the 25. And that was actually Jeremy Robinson on the return. There's going to be 39.4 here for this Helix offense. You try anything, or you just take the knee and get to half?
I think you're happy with this. This is fine. Based off the way things have gone, only bad things are going to happen if you try to make a miracle happen here. And that's not a knock on anybody. It's just Cathedral's defense is really good. They know you're going to have to throw, so it's kind of a recipe for disaster. You haven't shown anything offensively that gives you the confidence to go 75 yards in 39 seconds, So I go ahead and just sit on it. You get the ball after the half and try and figure it out after halftime. But, Jonathan, Oregon's so far away, just right up the road. USC.
What do you mean? The 5 freeway drives right through Eugene. I love how you had an amazing analysis, and you still felt the need to jab my alma mater at the end of it.
I had to get it in.
I respect it. Here's a toss out to Callaway. He's been really gunning for that gap, and it has not been there for the second quarter at least. Just a gain of 1, so maybe time for one more play before we get to the half.
Yeah, I just wouldn't do it. I mean, you can run this out, I think, with this amount of time left on the clock. They look like they're calling a play in, though. Maybe one more run, try to get lucky here.
You're not anticipating a 75-yard touchdown pass, are you?
No, I wouldn't even try it because, again, you have a lot of guys in this Cathedral defense who, while they don't return punts and kicks for them right now, would be on any other team in the country or in the county. You don't want to give them that free runaround type situation.
Well, they won't, because that's the end of the first half. 21-0. The Dons coming down to La Mesa and laying the hurt on the Highlanders. a touchdown pass for Brady Palmer, a touchdown run for Brady Palmer, and a touchdown run for Honor Fa'alave, total to 21 points for Cathedral Catholic. When we return, we'll break down the first half and get you ready for half number 2. It's the TVX Sports San Diego section game of the week on YurView Channel 4. Back after this from Helix.
San Diego High School football is going live. Starting Friday, August 29th, the San Diego section will be partnering with TVX Sports Video to broadcast one high school matchup every week for free on YouTube, YurView San Diego, and Cox Cable.
Friday, September 26th, Mount Miguel travels to face Oceanside on the San Diego section game of the week. Watch live on YouTube at TVX Sports Video, Cox Channel 4, and YurView, California.
Halftime here at Helix, 21-0 Cathedral Catholic, as the fans in the stands get ready for what promises to be a spectacular halftime show. We are so privileged to show it for you here on TVX Sports Video and on Channel 4. Tommy Morris, Jonathan Rifkin, halftime here in the press box. And Coach, tough first half for Helix. It did feel like it was more of the Dons with a slow start, despite being up 21-0, than it was that Helix defense stepping up.
Yeah, I mentioned in the pregame, you want to take these long, sustained drives, even if it's not really your MO, and just waste as much time as possible, because on the other end, it gets really frustrating for an offense that likes to have the ball a lot of times. You start to stress out a little bit, and that's what we saw in the first quarter, and then it kind of did fall apart there. This is a good time for halftime for Helix, because it looked like the floodgates were going to really open. They do get the ball back coming out of the half. Probably need a big return here to help things out, get the momentum. We talked about momentum as well in the pregame. If they can get a big return, get some momentum. I still think they need to stay on the ground for all things considered. I still think they need a nice long drive. Even if it takes them a while to score, they need to put points on the board. Points are the name of the game right now for the Highlanders, and they're going to try and utilize some of the energy from the band down in the field. Well, speaking of the band, one of the things that is beautiful about high school, we got a football player right now playing the drums, and you only get that in high school. There we go. I mean, that is... You talk about an athlete who plays both sides of the ball. That's I don't even know. Was that the fourth? That's the only athlete to play. Yeah, I guess you play sped. That is Mr. Serta, by the way. Matthew Serta playing drums out there, and a multi-talented athlete on the football field and also off their student athletes. So they encompass all sorts of high qualities as well. So, really quickly, just what is your thought on the Helix offense? I know we were talking about, keeping it on the ground and how effective that was comparatively to the 3 complete passes that LNL had. But, I mean, even if you're running the football and you're milking clock, now you're down by 3 possessions. So how do you still execute that game plan while having the sense of urgency you need to get back into this game? Well, you're going to get the ball back at least 3 times. They just need to score 1 time. I think you just need to see it on the board to believe it, if that makes any sense. And even if you got to run the ball, and ideally, yes, down 3 possessions, you'd love to score in 2 minutes. Right. But just do it any way you can, because the 0 is just... Again, mention momentum. It's nauseating. You know what I mean? It's frustrating. It leaves no belief in your heart. So you got to score, get this huge crowd into it, and I think they can get some going at least. Yeah, I mean, we've seen some plays, some bailout plays for Lee Norman Lester. We've seen the running backs get into it a little bit. Bryson Callaway's gotten his touches, and he had moments where he was hitting those holes hard and finding some productivity, but then Cathedral responded that second quarter and made things a little bit harder on the running game. Yeah, and then when they did start to blitz, it became really difficult for that offensive line. So, I mean, I still think we'll see some points on the board at some point for Helix. Maybe throw the ball to Jeremy Davis. He's been aggressive on both sides of the ball, but they got to figure something out. Well, while the football team needs to figure out their offense, it's time for the band to show you why they're one of the best in all of San Diego. The Helix High Marching Band, ladies and gentlemen.
Amazing, amazing show here at halftime from the world-famous Helix High School Marching Band. 21-0 halftime. Cathedral leading the Highlanders. Will step aside and get you ready for half number 2. It's the San Diego section Game of the Week presented by TVX Sports Video and YurView Channel 4.
San Diego High School football is going live. Starting Friday, August 29th, the San Diego section will be partnering with TVX Sports Video to broadcast one high school matchup every week for free on YouTube, YurView San Diego, and Cox Cable.
Friday, September 26, Mount Miguel travels to face Oceanside on the San Diego section Game of the Week. Watch live on YouTube at TVX Sports Video, Cox Channel 4, and YurView, California.
Week 4 begins now. Let's see how capable they are here on 3rd and long. 3rd and 11, 5 wide with the setting sun behind him. Benitez, far side, nobody's home but an interception. Reeled in and taken. Touchdown, Xavier St. John and the Grizzlies.
Of an interception and touchdown as Xavier St. John will probably ever see in his football career.
Yeah, there he is on the move. Fleming's in the backfield. Hune keeps. Troy Hune against pressure towards the end zone. Has a man. It's caught. No, it's not. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 for Hune. Play action to Fleming. Dumps it down on a screen pass and it's intercepted. On the defensive end here for the Eagles, Jaden Thomas as he gets thrown into the bench. Benitez with 5 wide. Benitez in trouble. And he's taken down near the 40. The first man to Zachary Benitez is Grant Kirkendall in the backfield. Gonzalez on the move from the left. Play action, Hune searching. Hune throwing. Downfield towards the end zone and just a tad overthrowing Ryan McKenzie. Power formation for the offense. Fleming on the toss, running out left. Defense was ready. Fleming staying on his feet and hustling his way out across the 30. For I formation, Fleming is the running back. He takes the toss. Parker Fleming, eyes to the end zone, and he's into the paint for a touchdown. Patrick Fleming III gets the first offensive touchdown here tonight for either team.
Yeah, we're going to see here, what you're going to see is 3 or 4 white jerseys, and every single one of them almost is going to end up on the floor. But Fleming comes out standing. As you said, it's sort of a Derrick Henry Jr. type of running back.
2nd and 15 as clock continues to wind down. Benitez to throw. Benitez rolling right. He had Matar for a moment. Benitez trying to evade space, and he is flattened in the backfield. Rather, the second half begins with Wilhite and his heels towards the end zone, taking this one out across the 20. Wilhite to the 30, flying down to the 34-yard line finally before he stopped. Benitez and Matar in the backfield. On the move is Smith. Benitez gets flattened once again from behind. 2nd time he's been taken down here tonight. Set him on the Eagles, and boy, are they happy to have him. Benitez with a man out wide. Walker reels it in. Were his feet in? They were. A first down by Noah Walker in the Eagles offense. Matar's the running back. Taking the carry. He only needs 4. He gets 5 and some change. Operating in opponent territory. Benitez, a quick pull of the trigger. Diving back to the football is Walker. And it's complete. Noah Walker pulling the theatrics out of his hat once again. Benitez surveying, launching, catch, huge hit, but held on here inside the 6. 4th and goal from the 4. Benitez alone, throwing left, has a man, caught, touchdown, Rocket Demery and the Eagles. 2nd and 4. Fleming wants the first down, gets it in some change. Patrick Fleming tripped up out across the 40 after another strong gain from the backfield. Only needs 4 yards. It will be Hune to throw. Defense bringing pressure. It's a fade to the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown, Grizzlies. Ryan McKenzie, the sophomore, gliding in for 6.
You're not going to have as much time to run that ball.
Time to throw it. Benitez doing just that. Wide open. And hauled in by TJ Wilkins. His first reception here tonight, and it is a big one. Play action. Walker towards the end zone, untouched. 6 points for Granite Hills. Noah Walker striding in for his first touchdown of the evening, and a very quick drive for Granite Hills in response to the Mission Hills touchdown puts them down by a possession pending the PAT. Fourth quarter, Troy Hune rolling back, firing deep. Gonzalez! Did he make the catch? He did! Josh Gonzalez with a jaw-dropper of a catch to open up the fourth quarter. Still 8-12 and counting. Now Zach looking to throw. Veering far side. Has Noah punched away. He was being grabbed by the shoulder, but no flag comes in. And good coverage by Xavier St. John. Let's see how dynamic he can be here. Fourth down for Benitez. Williams was wide open, wasn't looking that way. He's spinning, twirling, throwing. In danger, it's intercepted. Not a smart pass. John Garcia II along the sideline. Garcia II untouched all the way for the touchdown. It took 3 tries in 3 years, but on the third try, it was a charm. The Mission Hills Grizzlies are kings of the hills. A 31-21 trounce of the Granite Hills Eagles, and the Grizzlies are 4-0 to start off 2025. Week 5 of the high school football season, halftime. Cathedral 21, Helix 0. Reminder, next week we will be up in Oceanside, where the Pirates will have their hands full with the Mount Miguel Matadors. 6:45 on YouTube and just after 7 on your YurView channels across Southern California, Palm Springs, and El Centro Yuma area. Tommy Morris, Jonathan Rifkind, Timor, first half dominated by Cathedral Catholic.
Yeah, and I mean, really, that first quarter, we thought we might see an upset coming here, looming a little bit. It was 7-0. Helix looked in control on offense, and then something happened on the Cathedral sideline where they just sort of remembered that they are Cathedral and got it rolling. But, yeah, I mean, talking about next week's game a little bit. Poway now ahead of Mount Miguel by 3 points. I think it's 17-14. I was trying to get that off the top of my head, but I think that's correct. So Mount Miguel hopefully will pull that out so that the records look a little bit better for next week.
It certainly helps that the Highlanders, who have already taken on Oceanside a week ago and lost 41-14, and of course have Mount Miguel coming up in Grossmont League play. And, of course, Grossmont League this year, it's interesting. Mount Miguel seems vulnerable. Granite Hills, who lost to Mission Hills last week, certainly seems vulnerable. Helix seems... I mean, this ends up becoming a bigger question mark than in years past. Who's going to win this league? Now, the Western League, also a question mark. But I don't know if University City is necessarily the team that's vying for that top spot. I think it's likely going to be between the Dons and the Lincoln Hornets.
Yeah, and I think, again, Scripps branch in that league this year, too. I don't think that they're going to be...
I forgot Scripps as well.
This is, again,
who, by the way, has had a fantastic couple of years.
Yeah, not a knock on them at all, but just it is pretty clear far and away that in the Western League, or what is it, the City Conference, excuse me, if you count the other leagues that encompass that City Conference, these are the two best teams, being Cathedral and Lincoln. We saw Lincoln week 2 beat Long Beach Poly. Lincoln almost, well, I don't want to say almost, played competitively with Mission Viejo, who's one of the best teams in the country.
They did almost they almost won that game.
Yeah, so I mean,
think it's fair.
These are two of the best teams, again, not just in the state, but I would argue in the country.
Cathedral Catholic up 21-0. Let's see how it happened. Here's your first half highlights. And, of course, it was the Brady Palmer show early, deciding to keep it himself and ripping off what would be a 41-yard touchdown run to get the scoring going in that first quarter.
Roll on. Is that what they say, Cal? I think it is, right? Roll on. He was rolling on there for 41 yards. It was a 42-41. It doesn't really matter. Really nice touchdown run here by Brady Palmer to set up the scoring for Cathedral.
Brady Palmer doing it both through the air and on the ground. Of course, after the explosive run, set up an explosive pass right up the chute, connecting with Isaac Cook. And Cook evading a couple of green jerseys en route. To where, Tommy? To the end zone. Touchdown, Dons.
And we have not seen P.J. Johnson yet, and Isaac Cook kind of stepping up, filling in that void, and saying, maybe I should get the ball a little bit more this year. Check this out.
That was his first receiving touchdown, of the season. He did have a 64-yard catch that wasn't for a touchdown against St. Francis.
In your defense, it was mostly rushing.
Here's that floater. Lee Norman Lester looking for his third completion of that first half. He had Jeremy Robinson, but Robinson got caught in midair and thrown out of bounds by Logan Jones at the last moment prior to his leg touching inbounds. So it was ruled incomplete.
I think there should be a rule in football. I've been vying for this for years. If it's a cool play, even if it wasn't a completion, just count it. I mean, that was close enough. That was pretty cool. Just count it. No one would be mad about that.
And, of course, this defensive line giving L&L fits in that first half. Yeah, he was able to break loose for one decent run, but Bronx Latui Gassano and that defensive line disrupting him, and that turned into Honor Fa'alave breaking loose and just showing you why he is a man amongst boys en route to the paint for 6.
Yeah, when you talk about, like, why is somebody a 5-star, why is somebody so highly recruited, it's not necessarily just the stats. It's how easy they make it look against what is the top competition, and this is clearly too easy for him. And, again, not a knock on Helix or the rest of the county, but this is just an outstanding athlete.
Yeah, Cathedral Catholic and Lincoln are really in a league of their own. It's going to be the other 2 open division spots, assuming that sort of things continue on the path. Again, high school football, you never really know, but it's going to be interesting to see how the other 2 open division spots shake out. Of course, we know about some news up at Mission Hills that could derail their season. La Costa Canyon looks like maybe the number 3 team in San Diego. I haven't checked on their night tonight.
They picked up a win yesterday.
Oh, that was
out
a Thursday game.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, they have a very impressive-looking squad, too. They might pick that up. Granted, it would have been the other one in contention, but they need Mission Hills to lose a few games.
Yeah, they need some help at this point. Nonetheless, here's the beginning of the second half between Cathedral Catholic and Helix. That one was bobbled, but quickly bottled up, and the 26, maybe the 27 is where this second half drive will begin after Dario Bartoletti continuing to get his fingerprints all over the football.
And Bryce Bergman, that's exactly what they probably saw on film. There's going to be a little void in the coverage there. Just go ahead and pooch it in there, because when a football bounces, it can go anywhere, and that is very scary for the Trent squad. Worst case, they catch it and fall on it like they did. Best case, they boot it around and you end up with a free possession. So I don't want to call that an onside kick, but it is kicked with the intention of potentially getting the ball back.
Helix starting at the 26. They've been starting most of their possessions near the 25, so not really that far beyond where they've been accustomed to starting. And here in the new quarter, we'll see what they can get going. Callaway with the first touch, and he is immediately greeted on that defensive line. Again, a host of Dons led by Landon Kaufman, the linebacker, with a big tackle here.
And the most impressive part of that run was him recovering his own fumble here, because just late it squirts out. You can see it right now. Ball comes on the ground. Come on, right here. Boom. And then he just, again, the wherewithal to, I guess, granted he did fall on top of it, but be able to pick that ball back up, because there were 5 Cathedral Dons around there, and man, that was almost a bad turnover. That could have sealed the deal.
That was the freshman Michael Bullock who punched that ball out. Impressive hands from a 9th grader.
It's scary when a 9th grader is that good. That means you're stuck playing him for 3 more years.
You're stuck, or it's a pleasure to play him for 3 more years. What a luxury. 2nd and 6. Lee Norman Lesser fakes the toss, keeps it himself, bouncing outside, pushed out near the 35. Some audible gasps coming from the crowd, but he did get just enough, I believe, for the first down. It's really going to depend on the spot. Both officials lining up right on that line to gain. And I believe there was a flag thrown as well at the end of it after the...
That might have been on Logan Jones, but I don't think so. I mean, I think Lee Norman Lester was inbounds when that happened. And we talked about Logan Jones as a receiver a little bit today, but let's take a look at it again. And this is a great angle here. Great job by our camera crew. I think he was still in bounds when this happened. I don't know. I mean, that is...
He launches. It's tough because he launches.
I guess the foot is down, but that's one of those ones where I don't know if Logan would have known he was out of bounds. That was close.
By the way, between Mater Dei Catholic and St. Augustine, it's 21-20 at the half. Down there in Chula Vista, that one courtesy of our fearless leader up at the top of TVX, the great Ted Bendrick. That was a short gain. Check that. That was a decent gain on the run by Callaway. It's going to set up a 2nd and about 5.
Callaway's missing a tire here. They got to get him out and get that thing.
They should let him run on a spare tire.
I mean, he in theory could. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you want him to if you're Helix, but that's one where somebody who's not wearing gloves has got to go down there and put it on for him. It's really hard to put a shoe on when you got gloves on, so you need the help of somebody who's not wearing them. But I think at this point, I think every single player wears them now, so I don't know. You see him getting the help to tie. And you see his gloves are taped. There's no way he's getting those things off. He can't put his own shoe on right now.
Saw a great shot of Coach DeMaja Jones, who watches his running back barrel his way through just a yard shy of the line to gain.
That's Dante Wright, because we did mention there that Callaway had to take a pit stop, if you will, to get his tires fixed. And Wright comes in and does a nice job filling in. And Helix, again, taking their time. I do think at this point of the game, while you're running it, maybe a little bit faster here. I don't think limiting possessions is going to be the issue for the second half. You still want to run if you can, if that's what's being effective, because you do got to score at some point. But I think you can hustle up a little bit more than this.
Looking for their first points against the Dons since 2023. And another carry this time, though not as effective on 3rd and 1. Though the final push may have just been enough. We'll see here on the carry by Wright where that spot ends up. It looks to me like it's good, and the officials agree. A hair of a yard across the line to gain. First down here for Helix once again.
That nice forward progress there. I actually thought he was short. We'll take a look, and great job there again. That's Wright backing up. He's a little bit, I would assume his squat max a little bit more than Bryson Callaway, so more of a power back. And a little bit of playing through not just the first, second, or third whistle there by a couple players, but they let it go. But it's a first down for Helix either way.
Yeah, if you ever want some motivation to stick with your leg day routine, watch these running backs. It's the only reason I can get out to leg day on a Wednesday. Callaway back in the backfield. Norman Lester hands it to him. Looking for that gap. Quick burst of energy before being greeted and taken down near the 35-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play, and that's going to set up a second and about 5.5.
Take a look at it one more time. And again, good long sustained drive. That's what we talked about at halftime. Callaway with his fresh tire on gets about 5 there.
You're getting me excited for the F1 weekend, by the way.
You know, I know nothing about racing or cars. I couldn't tell you one thing.
Well, you know that it's called a pit stop. Yeah, you know it's called a pit stop, and you know that you need to change a tire. So that's really all you need.
I only know that because I've watched Nick James read enough highlights so that I know what a NASCAR pit stop is.
Oh, I don't know anything about NASCAR. 2nd and 6. Callaway remains out there. 3 running backs extra block, or rather 3 wide receivers extra blocker. Slips through the first, and taken down on the tackle for the Dons was Kevin Clark, the second leading tackler on this Dons defense.
Nice little duck dive there by Bryson Callaway. That's a surfer term. You got that one?
Duck and dive, yep.
No, duck dive.
Oh, a duck dive.
When you go under the wave when you're trying to get out to the outside.
Is that because ducks will dive to get their fish in the same manner?
I'm not very well bred, so I don't know.
I thought you were an ornithologist, man. Good run by Callaway, getting a gain of 4.
And whatever word that was, no clue.
Ornithologist?
Yeah, what is that?
Okay, stop claiming you have a degree from the University of Southern California, okay? Norman Lester jogging back out there.
I didn't go to Oregon, so I don't know about birds, Jonathan. I know that ducks were the main thing there, but I don't know.
I'm going to leave you to stand in the hole that you dug yourself. On 2nd down, handoff, Callaway chucking up the middle. That was 3rd down, my mistake, and he gets a gain of 2 on it. But well, on 3rd and 6 running the football, I understand that that's been your most effective offense, but
I was about to say, in your defense, you're going for the 4th down anyway, so this effectively is 2nd down.
So you're setting yourself up, right? Fair enough. I appreciate that. So you're really setting yourself up. At that point, you know that you're going for it on 4th down, so you just try to minimize the damage on that play as you can.
And we got another missing shoe. That's Jeremy Davis now. I think he's coming off. Oh, no, he just wants to talk to the coach. I don't know.
We haven't seen a ton of him outside of his... He has 1 reception. He did have a touchdown, his first varsity touchdown. That was against St. Augustine.
We have some laundry on the field. I'm not really sure why, because it wasn't during the play. I didn't see anything after the play.
Unless somebody said something on the sideline.
I could see, maybe some sort of sideline deal, but the reason Jeremy Davis walked over there is because he was confused about something. So I don't really know. Hopefully we'll get an explanation here, but they wave it off.
Sometimes when you think a piece of laundry's dirty, it actually is clean.
And that's why I've only had 3 pairs of underwear in my life. Maybe I upgrade to 4. Give me that look like that's not enough, maybe. I don't know.
I'm pleading the 5th on the rest of this broadcast. It's going to be 4th and 3 here from the 32. This is the deepest in Dons territory Helix has had. They lost 28-0 last year. They're down 21-0 right now. And they are trying every tool in their toolbox here to piece together a scoring drive. Lee Norman Lester in the shotgun. His running back is Bryson Calloway. He has trips on the weak side. And whistles are blown prior to the snap. I believe somebody called a timeout. It was Helix.
Yeah, they didn't like the look. So they had a formation they haven't shown this whole entire night. And I'm sure they had something planned to flip it out there and use a couple of those guys as lead blockers. And the numbers probably didn't check out. So how to use a timeout. I mean, smart timeout to use. They almost ate half the clock with this first down. This is what you want to do. Again, ideally score faster, but just keep moving the ball, give yourself some confidence. This, from my perspective, might be the game right here. They got to get this first down. I know it sounds ridiculous. It's only the third quarter, but they got to score here and get some confidence if they want a chance to win this game.
Yeah, it becomes a gauntlet. Modern Day Catholic and Mount Miguel, Granite Hills, all on the horizon for this Helix team. And it's always important to punch up. And it has been the Helix way. Coach Jamaja Jones in his 4th season. He was promoted back in 2022 after 5 seasons as the Helix defensive coordinator. And, of course, calls it his dream job after leading this team back in the early 2000s. Eventually moving on to play linebacker at San Jose State, where the pinnacle of his playing career was when he got to captain that 2006 New Mexico Bowl championship team. Known as a defensive specialist, but he has embraced the creativity on offense by bringing in those coordinators with pro experience. Of course, in his first 2 years, he had Brandon Arrington on this roster. Arrington now at the rival of Mount Miguel, and Helix has been plugging holes with athletes since, and, you know, it's a good opportunity as now Cathedral calls the timeout. When we get timeouts stacked on top of each other, it's always an interesting opportunity. You know, everybody talks about poaching and, you know, transfer culture and all of this different stuff. But at the end of the day, all it does is open up another opportunity for somebody else to step up. And I think we lose sight of that. And for this Helix team, yeah, you could make the case that they haven't had the running backs like they've had. You know, they had Christian Washington not too long ago who dominated the section, and they had Lucky Sutton who dominated the section. Like, you may look at this Helix team and say, well, there aren't necessarily the name brands or the stats or the wins that stand out. But at the end of the day, the pedigree's there, and this team is not shying away from anybody. They punch up their weight. And even though we saw a really good start for Coach Jones in his career in the last 2 years, have been a little bit rockier. The ship is continuing to be righted, and they're heading in a very good direction.
Yeah, so here's that big 4th and 4. And I was going to say, too, Jake Williams, their go-to guy on offense. You've been seeing him whenever they huddle up. He's wearing number 0. He's got his arm in a sling, and he's wearing the headset. He would be the guy to go to normally.
Lee Norman Lester on 4th down, and he is sacked on the play. Taken down by Stavros Hetrick. His 2nd sack here tonight, and it's a turnover on downs here in the 3rd quarter.
They have had trouble blocking number 19 all night. Stavros Hetrick, that's the 2nd sack, but he's also had a couple tackles for loss as well. And, I mean, again, this is a hard thing for a quarterback. Probably step up in the pocket. You don't need to freak out. There was a clean pocket in front. I know for the issue, too, is you got Bronx
Latui
flying through the front of the line, but he could have stepped up and thrown it. There was no one open yet, so yeah, I mean that's just sort of a nightmare situation. And we saw it on the first drive where he sort of just threw up a prayer. I mean that would be the time to do it, with it being 4th and 4, back against the wall, you know, whatever. Throw a 50-50 ball. If you throw a pick, it's a punt essentially. So yeah, just sort of a tough situation. Every single time Cathedral's blitzed, it's gone well.
Brady Palmer, first opportunity here in the second half, gives it to Willie Flores. Tried to shake off one green defender, but 2 more taken down. Leading tackler on the play was Jeremy Davis, and that's a gain of 3 on the carry for Flores.
And I want to give a shout out there to Aiden Chapman, who's normally defensive lineman, was playing H-back there. He can't catch a pass. He's wearing 53, but drove his man about 20 yards downfield. He's still on the field. You'll see him to the near side on 53, lined up off the ball next to the left eye. There he goes in motion.
As if he was listening to you. Flores, again, out to the right. Evading one would-be tackler, flying through and gets the first down. Willie Flores soaring through the air.
And guess who sealed that edge, Jonathan? It's like a wild guess.
That's your
was
boy,
Aiden Chapman?
number 53.
It was Aiden Chapman. We'll take a look at it one more time. They motion him over, and, pretty good hint. They're going to go 53's way if he's in the game because he can't catch a pass wearing that number. And sealing that is right there. Great block. Man, you hate to see that number fly towards you if you're playing defense. And they still got that package with him in there. He's off to the left side.
Play action. Palmer to throw. He has receivers deep. Looking in that direction. It is caught inside the 10. Reeled in by Isaac Cook.
Too many cooks.
He's been cooking this defense all evening long.
And again, I mean, the bomb for Brady Palmer is the games have been like this a lot, so he hasn't got to show off the arm. But, I mean, this is a beautiful throw.
They're in 4 verts on this.
Oh, yeah. They just went ahead and slung it. And, yeah, I mean, if you're a secondary, you're getting bored by watching run, and you're susceptible to that happening.
Flores into the end zone. And I promise you it was a touchdown, even though we were coming out of replay.
We were too busy showing the nice pass. I was too busy talking about it. We were too busy showing it. And Willie Flores didn't give us a chance. He's so fast, he didn't let us announce his touchdown, man. Willie, slow down for us.
7-0. Here's what it looked like from our perspective. Just an easy bounce out to the right. Great block on the inside. Did you see that block by Victor Velasquez II? By the way, he is an offer from Washington State. Big number 71 on the outside, clearing space for Flores to glide in for 6.
Yeah, nice little kind of a counter play there. Normally out of the pistol when ball's handing off to the left, that's where it's going. But instead you have the left guard pulling around, leading the way up the right side. Touchdown. Easy walk in for Flores.
Flores is on the board. He joins Arner Fa'alave and Brady Palmer with rushing touchdowns. Palmer also has a passing touchdown to Isaac Cook. One more look for Mr. Flores.
There's a couple good blocks. I didn't see the number on that, but in the end zone, we have somebody driven through the back of the end zone, and that's going to go really well in film tomorrow. Trust me. That will be highlighted.
Third touchdown on the ground for Flores this season. And you can see just a melancholic look right now on that Helix sideline.
We got sunglasses, cowboy hat down there. A lot going on that sideline.
Unfortunately, style points don't count on the scoreboard.
They should, though.
Because otherwise, Helix would be winning.
I'd have a couple points tonight, I think. You'd have like at least 10.
You probably
got the pocket square. You got everything going.
Funny enough, my pocket square is just my pocket turned inside out. Shout out to Jack Cronin for that little helpful tip. Here's a return on the kick. Out across the 30 to the 32 on the return by Dario Bartoletti.
You got to walk me through that at some point. That's really just the pocket?
Oh yeah, it's just the pocket. Well, I don't need to walk you through it. You take the pocket and you put it inside out.
Well, this one's sewn. I don't think I can do that. Am I supposed to break this? I don't know.
Here's another look at the kick return, and then we're gonna give Tommy Moore a suit wearing 101 classes. Right now, it really does feel like Dario Bartoletti has been like the bright spot here tonight for Helix.
Yeah, we mentioned Jake Williams is hurt. He's wearing number 0. We showed him a couple times wearing the headset. There's a good look at the cowboy hat there. But yeah, Dario's got to step up and fill that role that Jake normally provides. He's a good senior football player. But, yeah, I mean, Dario's doing a great job tonight.
New quarterback in. It's Caden Thompson. Escondido transfer. He was really good for Escondido. Line collapsing. Floats one near side. Incomplete. Broken up on the play was Titus Napoleon. Also in the area was Stavros Hetrick. Pass was intended for Jeremy Robinson. So Caden Thompson with his first pass that goes incomplete. He's an Escondido transfer. He was awesome for the Cougars. One of the top freshmen 2 years ago in San Diego. He and Josh Gonzalez, who you may have remembered making that spectacular catch in our highlight video from Mission Hills last week. He was on that Escondido team. And then he came down here. He's a pro-style quarterback, and he unfortunately really hasn't gotten a ton of reps, mostly because that offensive line hasn't been able to hold. But he has 7 completions, and 3 of them have been for touchdowns this season.
That's a good ratio right there.
Here's a delayed handoff and a fumble. Bryson Callaway coughs it up, and the Dons jump on top.
Yeah, it looked like Caden Thompson changed his mind and wanted to actually keep it there. And unfortunately, once it goes, kind of rule for quarterback is you go hip to hip when you're riding that pocket. Once it gets past that first hip, you really got to either let it go or keep it. You can't sort of I don't know. And you'll see it here. This is an I don't know from Caden. That kind of comes from Yeah, see, just too late. And again, that comes from not getting a lot of reps on the sideline or during the game. And you see him and Callaway talking about it. You can't leave it in the pocket that long if you intend to keep it. You got to really pull it earlier, and that's what resulted in that miscommunication there.
Second turnover for Helix. They had an interception on their opening drive of the game. Brady Palmer, fresh off of that really nice pass that set up a touchdown run for Willie Flores, back out there. Honor Fa'alave in the slot on the right. Palmer in the shotgun. Flores to his right. Palmer rolling out that way. Palmer, eyes to the end zone. Fa'alave, why is he so open? That is not the guy you leave wide open. And even though it's not Honor Fa'alave and it's actually Isaac Cook, it does not matter. He continues to torch the defense for a touchdown.
You know why he was that open? Because Honor Fa'alave was, 5 yards off the line of scrimmage running that out route. Cook with a little post corner, so you get sort of a levels concept there. I mean, man, it's just too easy, Brady Palmer. That might be the last play we see of him tonight, now with the score being 35-0. But at first I thought he might have undercooked it a little bit. No pun intended, pun extremely intended. But Cook with a great catch and more impressive stretch towards the goal line.
So Bryce Bergman will line it up here and try to make it 35-0. Reminder, 35 or more points is the deficit. Coming into the fourth quarter, a running clock will ensue. You could have a running clock prior to the fourth quarter, but both teams would have to agree. So we take another look here at the touchdown pass. Brady Palmer hook it up with Isaac Cook once again.
Yeah, we can't see on the screen, but he little move to the inside, then outside, and this is the best part right there. Nice stretch. And again, I thought Palmer might have underthrown this a tiny bit, but had just enough on it. And he is really comfortable rolling to his right. We've seen him roll that way about 4 or 5 times now. He delivers a good ball while rolling, and that's something that you'll see Cal run a lot too. And again, if you go to Snapdragon tomorrow, which I'm sure Brady Palmer will be there,
probably be on the sidelines.
2 good quarterback names, Brady and Palmer. I wonder if that's on purpose.
Do you think it was on purpose that his parents named him Brady? I would venture yes. Here's a return from the 10. That's typically how names work, Tommy.
You know what I mean. I mean, Tom Brady at his peak, what year? Brady Palmer born what year? You know what I mean? I don't know. Dad's a quarterback. Uncle's a quarterback. What?
Brady Quinn.
Randall in the production booth saying Brady Quinn. Maybe potentially the greatest Brady of all time. Actually, in college, technically, he was better than Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Another shot here of Jay Sells on the sideline. Chatting up here with some of his Helix teammates. 1st and 10. Helix just fumbled the football, and Cathedral Catholic took advantage with a touchdown. Caden Thompson back out there for his second drive. He had a touchdown pass against Oceanside last week. He had that trick play touchdown pass against St. Augustine. He had a 79-yard touchdown pass against Castile. See if he can continue the motif for a 3rd straight week and throw a touchdown pass. Instead, it's a delayed handoff that goes absolutely nowhere for Bryson Callaway.
Yeah, and so this happened because Caden Thompson didn't like the alignment that he had with his running back. You'll see him really late try to take a couple steps back to fix it, but it was wrong from the start. And actually, that was afterwards, so never mind, Caden. I apologize. Good job by Thompson jumping on the ball. But I thought it was another exchange problem, but it was not. I apologize.
That's what it looked like in real time.
Hand up. That's my fault.
It's all good. Jeremy Davis jogging back out there. Great to see Jeremy Davis. We've been saying his name a lot, and it's even more emblematic that he's been out there all season. But what it shows is his spirit in his fight. He's a defensive leader on this team. His flags fly. It's going to be a false start here on Helix. Here's the official car. Actually, no, it's an encroachment call on the defense. This is why you...
They weren't even saying it. It's hard to get an encroachment that early.
I am shocked. I mean, Helix wasn't even set yet. So
that's what I'm saying. I don't know what...
Unless you're like high-fiving the offensive lineman. So anyways, back to number 19, Jeremy Davis. It's even more special to see him on the field. Back in 2023, he missed the entire season. He was fighting acute myeloid leukemia. He was hospitalized for a month. He endured 5 rounds of chemo. He nearly lost his life. He lost 46 pounds at one point, and he'd use a walker before fighting his way back. He returned to action this year in 2025. He leads the team in tackles. He caught his first varsity touchdown against St. Augustine playing tight end. And his coaches say that he is truly an inspiration. as Noah Alfie intercepts it from Caden Thompson and gives it back to the Dons here, up 35-0.
There is a pass rush, and then there's whatever that was. That was, I mean, man, running backs trying to step up and make a block, but it was a, I don't know what the right word is for this, Jonathan. We're about to see it in a second, but the reason it was interception is right there. I mean, the running back almost made the sack.
Oh, he was ready for bed at that point. Like, why even bother getting up? Boom. I mean, you are getting hit by a freight train.
That is how you initiate contact. You hear that a lot from coaches. What does that mean? It means exactly what you just saw.
By the way, for Noah Luifi, that's his third interception here on the season. So a pair of Dons with a trio of interceptions here through the first 4 games of 2025. Play action, far side, catches made. And we're going to see a couple of the players down on the depth chart. That is John Luca with his, actually check that. That is Eric Lucero, the junior wide receiver, getting his first reception here of his varsity career.
And Honor Falave, we saw earlier on that play, have a hold, and he made up for it there. That was a pancake amongst pancakes over there on the perimeter. I think he was probably upset about that first block, and he fixed it on that time.
So you have Gianluca on the left. You have Lucero on the right. You have Falave in the slot, and that is Willie Flores, who is going to stop because of some dirty laundry on the field. And by the way, I don't know if you saw on the left side, Falave was looking at Gianluca, and they were both kind of shaking their heads, so clearly they weren't sure what the play was, and a false start was called nonetheless. That's going to set the Dons back up to a 1st and 15.
Coach Doyle wants an explanation, but I think it was pretty obvious. I think, yeah, that tends to happen if you're yelling it from the sideline. If you're on the far side, you really got to pay attention, and then those guys who are in the middle need to echo it out there. As you see, Falave doesn't really know what's going on. I don't know how it's a false start, though.
He may have been over the line.
Or if he was still moving. That's the other thing, too. But
does shrugging your shoulders count as moving, Coach?
But it looked like his feet were still sort of – he wasn't set for a second is what I'm trying to say. He wasn't ready to go. You got to be set for a second. And he still doesn't know what's going on.
The funny thing is for Falave is he doesn't need to know what's going on. As long as you get him the ball, success is likely imminent. And you want to know Sanchez was the one who jumped right there. That'll be defensive encroachment.
A triple funnier thing is if that's the play that was called before. So sometimes you call in a play that just doesn't. It's just not a play. You're just trying to get the offsides and then you call it in later. I think that's what was happening on the play before, and Falave didn't know what the play was, but the play was no play. So
maybe
that might have been the confusion.
Tactics that confused both the defense and the broadcasters because it's working. Helix fans voicing their displeasure for some of the recent antics here from our near sideline. Reminder, next week we'll be up in Oceanside, Mount Miguel. It's going to be quite a bout between the Pirates and the Matadors. Play action. Far side. Caught. Alone. Honor. Touchdown. Dons. Second touchdown of the evening for Honor Falave. He has an entourage of friends out there in the end zone to greet him. And the onslaught continues. 41-0 pending the PAT.
I mean, great footwork there by Brady Palmer there because, that's a bubble and go, right? So you're so on the block and then you're taking off upfield. And I think Honor Falave might lead the country. Look, there's a fake there and then just flip it out there. He might lead the country in jog-in touchdowns because it feels like every time he scores, there's nobody within 10 yards of him. And there was another one.
PAT by Bryce Bergman. Up and good.
But just going back to that, too, like a lot of people think when you're pump faking you need to whip that arm out or something. But as you saw there, Brady Palmer, it was just a hard step, and that was enough. That was enough to get him to jump up on that bubble route. And as you saw the result, there's nobody within maybe 100 yards there. Whoop.
So that's a blown coverage because both DBs went and thought they were playing on the
They thought they were going to go for the bubble.
Right.
Yeah, so, and then again, that all credit to Brady Palmer there, but that's a great fake. And, that's why you run that. You run that little RPO bubble a million times, and eventually you're going to get people to sneak up on it.
In truth, as a defender, my mentality should be I'll let somebody like if Eric Lucero, number 88, who that ball was pretended to be thrown to, right? I'll let that guy beat me. I am not letting Honor Falave out of my sight,
also,
right?
That's a DYJ thing. Do your job. Your job is not to come flying up on that. Your job is to have your protect your deep third. So that's, again, why that happened. Or if it was covered too deep half. I didn't see where the shell was, so I apologize.
How dare you?
I know.
We expect more from you, Coach. Bartoletto able to get it out across the 35 to the 36. And we'll see if a Helix team is... That's not good. Dante Wright comes up hobbling.
It felt like he is doing the thing it looks like when it's a cramp, which is what I'm hopeful for because that's a quick fix. So it was his right calf.
The humid nights continue here into fall. It's not particularly hot. It's just humid and warm. And dehydration.
Got to hydrate.
Yeah, definitely lead to cramping. We've seen last week we had a stoppage for asthma.
Yeah, well, I got to give you some credit, too, because pregame I wasn't responsible enough to bring my water down for the booth, and you came and got it for me so that you know how to help everybody hydrate.
What can I say? Everybody, this is the first time I've ever been credited for doing something responsible, and I'll take it. Caden Thompson, looking to responsibly not throw an interception on this drive, is in the pocket. Now he's flushed out right. Caden Thompson on the ground. Across the 30, dives forward dangerously, but gets a good chunk of yardage out of it. Should set up about a 2nd and 4.
I think he heard you call him a pro-style quarterback and wanted to prove you wrong here. I mean, obviously you're not supposed to run this here. You're supposed to throw up and nothing's there and then just sort of takes off and wisely takes a seat.
That is a interesting seat to take, but it is a 7-yard run. They'll give him one more on the lunge. 2nd and 3, clock trickling to under 40 seconds. Helix has not been shut out in back-to-back years against Cathedral in the history of its program. It's in danger of that result here, given the state of the situation before us. Screen pass, far side, it's complete. That's Bartoletti. And really doesn't get much help from his blockers thereafter. It's going to be back at the line of scrimmage, rather the line to gain, but it's going to be a half a yard short, and 4th and a fingernail is going to come up here when we return for the fourth quarter. 42-0. A touchdown to honor Fa'alave. 100% of the, a touchdown to honor Fa'alave and a rushing touchdown by Willie Flores. The 100% of the scoring in the third quarter. We'll return for the fourth in a moment. It's the TVX Sports Video San Diego section game of the week on YurView Channel 4 and TVX Sports Video on YouTube.
San Diego High School football is going live. Starting Friday, August 29th, the San Diego section will be partnering with TVX Sports Video to broadcast one high school matchup every week for free on YouTube, YurView San Diego, and Cox Cable.
Friday, September 26th, Mount Miguel travels to face Oceanside on the San Diego section game of the week. Watch live on YouTube at TVX Sports Video, Cox Channel 4, and YurView, California.
Well, Helix trying to keep the energy high here, but it's a tall task. 42-0. Welcome back to the fourth quarter. Tommy Morris, Jonathan Rifkin, no matter how you're watching or where you're watching, all of us here, TVX Sports Video, Cox Channel 4. Appreciate you making us a part of your Friday night evenings. In week number 5, Caden Thompson is the quarterback. On the move was Jeremy Davis. Handoff to Bryson Calloway, sneaking through the A-gap, staying on his feet, and it takes a trio of white jerseys to take down the physical back after a really nice run and a first down.
Yeah, and I know Cathedral's got their twos in, or halfway got their twos in right now, but the mark of a good running back is someone who gets better as the game goes on, and Callaway has done that. He's kept the legs churning. He was, even that first drive in the third quarter, he was instrumental in getting them to move the ball down the field. So good luck there for Callaway, who I believe is only a sophomore.
Your belief is correct, Coach Morris. And again, he's trying to put his name in a line of some very successful runners who have come through this Helix High School program. Of course, the one that we all think about is Reggie Bush, but there have been quite a few. Remember Lucky Sutton's 7-touchdown game in the state championship a couple of years ago? I guess at this point it's more than a couple of years ago. Oh, there's a fumble, another one on the snap. Dons on top of it. Dons say they have it. Awaiting the official. And it's Cathedral Catholic ball. 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles, a +4 in the turnover margin for Cathedral Catholic. And with 10:38 and counting, because we do have a running clock, it is 42-0 Dons.
Yeah, and there was 2 other fumbles that Helix fell on again. So, I mean, we could have had 6. Yeah, so I mean, I know that's what they teach over there at Cathedral, you know, go for the ball, especially if you're the second guy to get to the tackle. But this one was kind of a gift. Snap was a little wide, but that's still manageable. That's just kind of tough.
Tough position for Caden Thompson to be in there. He's already jumped on top of one botched snap. Threw an interception right after, and here, unfortunately, the ball was fumbled away. Brady Palmer. And actually, it's not Brady Palmer. Nathan Ashmore, the junior quarterback, getting his first snap of the season, and Ashmore gives it up for a short gain on the rush. That's Jackson Montes, who just checked in.
Okay, I think we're going to see Jackson get the ball. Jackson is normally the guy who's signaling in the plays. They got him in the game here. So, again, watch 23 on this one. I have a good feeling he's getting the ball here.
They have him split out wide. They've brought in Billy Trask into the backfield. Billy has 5 carries this season. So Billy's the running back. Nathan is the quarterback. And there's number 23, Jackson Montes. It's another handoff. Power back, bouncing out left. Trask trying to stay on his feet, but couldn't beat the defender to the punch on the tackle, Aiden Lopez. And it's a short gain on the play. That'll set up a 3rd and long.
So I was wrong. I think at some point on this drive, we got to get Jackson the ball. That's coming. But no, I mean, yeah, running clock. You see some of the backup guys in, and this is nice for them to get a chance to get out there. A lot of these guys are probably JV tweeners, which means they play most of JV and then suit up for varsity, but now they're getting some real varsity action.
Billy Trask again allows the play action to happen. Throw undercut intended for Logan Jones, and that was our first opportunity to see the arm of the newly minted quarterback, Nathan Ashmore.
Jones really I'm trying to just look at the numbers and figure it out. I think Jones really is the only guy who plays regularly who's out there on the field, and we do have an injury here for Helix.
Yeah, there's an injured Helix Highlander down. That's Tony Sanchez, a sophomore who plays both a little defensive end and defensive line. Saw Cathedral's Sebastian Tucker, senior tight end, go down in the first quarter, and unfortunately having to get ambulanced out of here. And we certainly hope that he's okay, wishing him the best and a speedy and very fruitful recovery. Helix has a gauntlet coming up in the next couple of weeks. Granite Hills is on the schedule. Mount Miguel is on the schedule. Mater Dei Catholic on the schedule as well, although a Mater Dei Catholic team that has been vulnerable since they went back-to-back state championships not too long ago.
We got some more their halftime scores because this game is going so fast. Rancho Bernardo up on West Covina. That's an out-of-section game, 23-7. Frontier and Lincoln tied at halftime. Army-Navy beating Country Day 30-3. And Santa Fe Christian beating Christian 21-7.
Ashmore with a handoff. Bouncing out to the left is Billy Trask. Trask trying to drag some green jerseys and taken down after a 4th and 6 run. Goes for a gain of close to 20.
Yeah, and again, some guys getting a chance. I know 4th and 6, you're up by a million. Why are you going for it? Because you're on the other side of the 50. You kind of just sort of have to. And look how excited the bench is. Trask guy probably doesn't get a lot of reps, and that I love to see that. All the starting guys getting up there, the first ones to help them up. They're fired up for these guys. I mean, they see these guys work really hard in practice every day, and they love it when they get this opportunity.
1st and 10. Cathedral driving. Only punted once here tonight. Ashmore, screen pass, incomplete through the hands of Logan Jones. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I mean, again, so generally in RPO, you're throwing to the side where the running back's crossing the quarterback's face, right? So that was going to go to the right side no matter what. I thought that was going to be the one right there to Jackson. I thought that was going to be it because he was over on that right side, but they threw it that way to Logan Jones. Jackson had to make the block there and just couldn't connect. And now Logan Jones is coming out, which, again, like he's worked hard today. I think he deserves a chance to rest here for this last 6.5 minutes.
Willie Flores did jog out there for a moment. They pulled him. They also pulled Jackson Montes, your boy. Cathedral looking down the depth chart and trying to insert as many bodies as they can here in the final 6:13 on the running clock. Here comes Trask again, bustling his way out and continuing the movement, just about a half a yard shy of the line to gain. Nice run. This guy, I mean, if you need a pure goal line back, I know they're using him further down the field because it's late, but this dude Trask, he's got some muscle, but he also can move. I mean, this is impressive stuff from a guy with his stature.
Yeah, Trask, a junior, trying to make a case for himself to get more carries during the early parts of the game. Only 5 carries so far in the year. It's looked really good tonight so far.
3rd and 1. Here he is, looking to try and complete the first down. Indeed, he does. Chugging his way out across the 15-yard line and setting themselves up for another 1st and 10 here.
It's now, second carry in a row. I think he wants to cash this thing in. They might give him another chance here. Here he is up the right side. Just kind of looks like a inside zone play to the right. Nothing too fancy.
Only wants to get his first varsity touchdown. Do you remember your first varsity touchdown as a player?
Do preseason scrimmages count?
No.
Absolutely I still do, yes, but yeah.
Not trying to diminish any of you who have had great preseason scrimmages, but for
I think I had 12 my senior year, but
all in preseason?
No, they counted, thankfully. But I think I led the world in ones called back. I think I had 5 called back, which, I mean, that's a pretty high percentage.
That's a lot of good event.
About a third of the potential ones just didn't count.
Another look at the run here by Trask. That went for a gain of 4 on the play. It looked like he could have broken loose here for a touchdown, but Latch just defending on.
I have a very good feeling I know he's getting the ball on this one. They took Trask out, and then they brought in.
Well, Jacob Pizarro's in.
Oh, sorry, 30. Yeah, that's Jacob. Yeah, I think that's just getting the ball here.
Pizarro has 2 carries so far this season. Looking for his 3rd and 2nd and 5 from the 5. They give it to Pizarro. Eyes towards the end zone. He's taken down about 2.5 yards short. Good job by the Helix line to collapse and stop a potential touchdown. Jakeem Riggins, the junior defensive lineman, getting the tackle, and clock continues to trickle here. 4 minutes and counting in the 4th and final quarter.
He's a senior. I thought they would have given him another shot at it. They brought Trask back in. You got to give him a chance again. That's tough.
Yeah, Trask definitely exemplifies more of your prototypical goal line back. And there he is, lined up behind Ashmore.
He's a junior, though. He'll get a chance next year.
Let's see if on 2nd and 1 from the 2, what he has in store. Here it is. Trask, head down, touchdown on the board. First varsity touchdown of his career, the first here for tonight. And Billy Trask putting the team on his back here late in the 4th quarter and running up the score. It's 48-0 pending the PAT.
Yeah, and Trask gets his first one. Congratulations. That's got to be a good feeling. And again, a guy who's the same age as Willie Flores, so he might be in the same role next year. But again, he's making a case that he should be splitting some carries here. He's running hard, and I mean, clearly a kid who doesn't care for the scores. He's playing 100%.
Good-looking PAT from Bryce Bergman, who continues to be perfect. 49-0. It was 21-0 at halftime. It felt like, for a Helix team who was able to march down the field, just unsuccessful in scoring, maybe they had a shot. Let's take another look at the touchdown here from Trask, the first of his varsity career, and talk about how excited. It's great to see the camaraderie ship and the endorphins elevated from a moment like that.
So I'm a jersey nerd. I think this is the first year Cathedral's done this. Correct me if I'm wrong. They have the full name Cathedral Catholic on the back.
I don't remember. It does seem new.
Yeah, I mean, you don't normally see a 2-layer, what is it called, layer, whatever.
Well, you normally get the name on the front side of the jersey, or at least some sort of logo.
I think their home ones say Dons now. I could be wrong, but maybe the away ones. I feel like that's a basketball thing, right? You always have your home jersey say the mascot. Away always says the name of either location or school.
You're the coach. I have no idea.
I mean, that's what it's supposed to be traditionally.
I knew that as well as you knew that you could turn your suit jacket pocket inside out and make it a pocket square. And yes, you are supposed to rip those seams when you buy a new jacket. Yep. See, okay, so yours is white, so they didn't design it, but you still could use it as a pocket square. And Cathedral trying to potentially get the ball back. after scoring a touchdown. And they're going to get it, an onside kick. And Cathedral Catholic is able to recover it. I apologize for chuckling. It's just kind of absurd with the clock running at $1:20.
Yeah, I think we got to call Braden, and Doyle would like for them to take a knee, it looks like.
Yeah, Coach Sean Doyle said, all right, you guys got the ball book. Now let's just end this game.
Yeah, there's Brady Palmer there, too. He's all excited.
Brady Palmer with a couple of touchdown passes, had a touchdown rush. Honor Valave had a touchdown rush. Willie Flores had a touchdown rush as well. Mr. Trask, Billy Trask, the running back of depth. Coach Doyle trying to tell his team, run the clock down as much as you can. I think he was trying to get an idea of where they needed to get to before a delay of game would be called.
I think they're just going to let them line up now. I don't think there's really any
It also
reason
doesn't matter because even if a delay of game was called with a running clock, the clock continues to run. And, yeah, that's going to do it. So Cathedral Catholic starts 2025 on a perfect 4-0 streak. Impressive wins, including 2 against San Diego teams now. Mater Dei Catholic to open up the season. And here tonight against Helix, 49-0. That comes on the heels of a 28-0 victory a year ago. Helix drops to 1-4 on the season. And they have their sights set on league play beginning next week. But Cathedral Catholic continues to set the gold standard here in San Diego and dominate as the game has gone official. 49-0 Cathedral Catholic. We're going to step aside for a timeout. When we return, we will tie a bow on this Friday night. Week 5 wraps up when we return here on TVX Sports Video and YurView.
San Diego High School football is going live. Starting Friday, August 29th, the San Diego section will be partnering with TVX Sports Video to broadcast one high school matchup every week for free on YouTube, YurView San Diego, and Cox Cable.
Friday, September 26, Mount Miguel travels to face Oceanside on the San Diego section Game of the Week. Watch live on YouTube at TVX Sports Video, Cox Channel 4, and YurView, California.
4-9 Cathedral Catholic, 4-0 on the season. Coach Sean Doyle in his 30th season continuing to set the standard of football excellence here in San Diego. Tommy Morris, Jonathan Rifkin, post-game show here, TVX Sports Video and Cox Channel 4. Coach, the first half didn't go as expected. The second half kind of flew by, but you look at the score, and I think it was as we may have expected coming into the game. Nothing against Helix, just knowing the firepower that Cathedral Catholic possesses.
Yeah, I mean, again, we were sort of hopeful there in that first quarter we get a little bit tighter of a game, but, you know, big win for Cathedral, tough loss for Helix, but they'll go into league play, which should be more of a competitive schedule. And big win for me because I just learned how to do this.
Look at that. So, this guy started the night without a pocket square, and now he has one trying to join us.
Yeah. I mean, I was less prepared than Jamarcus Russell to start the game looks-wise, but now I'm looking pretty good.
Speaking of somebody who looked pretty good here tonight, how about the quarterback Brady Palmer for Cathedral Catholic? He is awarded our player of the game here for our San Diego section Game of the Week. And boy, did he get things started off with a punch. A 41-yard touchdown run for the Cal commit to get the scoring going early.
Yeah, again, not what he's known for, but he's a dynamic player when he needs to be. And this was a great run. Again, not even a designed run. He just sort of took off and found his way into the end zone, and that's really set the tone for Cathedral the rest of the night.
Yeah, when your quarterback is feeling good, typically the players around you feel good as well. And on that play, Brady Palmer finding his receiver for a perfect screen pass, and good run here on the sideline for Gianluca Busalacci.
You mentioned no PJ today, and Gianluca kind of stepped in and got himself in there, but Cook also, Isaac Cook, played a huge role for the Dons today.
Yeah, Isaac Cook with season high in receptions. He also had a touchdown and an amazing grab to complement on that play. His first touchdown of the season, and then the backups came in, and, well, it didn't really matter.
And here it is again. He must do Pilates or something. Look at this stretch.
Well,
nice.
they do say that Pilates is the best form of exercise for pliability, and when you play football, longevity does matter.
I'm learning everything. Pliability, how to make a pocket square. This is a good day for me.
What can I say? We're always here to help you grow. Tommy Morris, we are also here to let you know that next week we are back on the air We will be live at 6:45 on YouTube and 7 o'clock here on Channel 4 for Mount Miguel at Oceanside. Jack Cronin, Drew Ferris, Tommy Morris, and myself, the full crew, is back in action. Again, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock. We'll be live here on Channel 4, but that's going to do it for us here in week number 5 on a Friday evening. For our entire TVX crew, they do such an incredible job. Please get in contact with any of them. The information's posted everywhere if you would like to join in on all the fun that we have here on the high school football game of the week. For Tommy Morris, my name is Jonathan Rifkin. Have a wonderful weekend. Cathedral Catholic, well, they remain undefeated, 49-0, a domination here in La Mesa, as we will talk to you next week on YurView and TVX Sports Video.
San Diego High School football is going live. Starting Friday, August 29th, the San Diego section will be partnering with TVX Sports Video to broadcast one high school matchup every week for free on YouTube, YurView San Diego, and Cox Cable.
Friday, September 26, Mount Miguel travels to face Oceanside on the San Diego section game of the week. Watch live on YouTube at TVX Sports Video, Cox Channel 4, and YurView California.